Well, a very good morning and welcome back to Marrakech and day 3 of competition here at the Junior World Championships. I'm delighted to be sitting alongside Jean Shin. Good morning, Jean.
Good morning, Sheldon.
Tell me, before we get underway, and this is not a surprise question because we had this yesterday,
okay, right.
Who from yesterday impressed you?
Well, Georgia, definitely. Liparteliani just had an amazing day. We have so many amazing athletes here, but you see sometimes one person who clearly stands out, and there was just nobody that was going to touch her yesterday, and she just really shone.
She was quite methodical in the way she carried out her plan.
Yes.
And executed everything.
Right. And very composed, throughout, we've been talking throughout, the competition about who's ready to go up to the senior level. And we've talked about technical skill and tactical ability and also just mental and emotional composure. And she had all of it.
Right. That was Eter Liparteliani yesterday in the under 57 kilo category, the gold medal winner. The Georgians have high hopes today. There are 3 that we're going to be looking at in particular. There may be others. I don't know if there's anyone. Oh no, in the under 70 kilos as well.
Right.
Miriam Chunk Turia.
That's right.
So that could
Who's
be
5th seed today.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's start by taking a look at the 3 weight categories that we've got to bring to you today. They are the under 70 kilo category for women and the under 81 and under 90 kilo category for men. We'll start by looking at the top 4 seeds in the under 70 kilo category. I think Federico's got that already lined up. The number 4 seed is Yacine Diatta of Senegal. The number 3 seed is Sara Morales Falconi of Peru. The number 3 seed is Moldia Marinova of Kazakhstan. And the number 1 seed is Kelly Peterson Pollard of Great Britain.
Okay, well, I think today, without any doubt, Kelly Peterson Pollard is the person to watch. She's had a very good year. She's also done pretty well against this particular field. Now, she hasn't played the top 3 seeds underneath her, but she is 1-0 against Chunk Turia from Georgia. She's played Sonoda from Spain, and beaten her, and she's also defeated Koch of the Netherlands. So she's very strong. She never gives up, and she loves kata tejime. She loves this single-handed choke, and she's put out a couple people with it. So I think she's going to have a good day, I think.
Right. Okay. We should look forward to seeing that. In particular, should there be the possibility of a rematch with Ai Sonoda from Spain, who is the current cadet world champion. She won that about 6 weeks ago. So we look forward to that possibility. All right. Let's take a look at the top 4 seeds in the under 81 kilo category. The number 4 seed is Guilherme Schmidt of Brazil. The number 3 seed is Jahangir Majidov of Azerbaijan. The number 2 seed is Tato Grigorashvili of Georgia. And the number 1 seed is Alexandra Arencibia of Canada.
Now, we have several players returning from last year's World Championships, but not the champion. Last year, the champion was Cristian Parlati from Italy. And the number 1 seed, Arencibia, I can't remember what he placed last year, but he's the 1st seed today. But the person, and so I think he's gonna do really well. But the person who has the most interesting story for me today is Tato Grigorashvili from Georgia. Now he's the 2nd seed, and he did not place last year, but he's already established himself at the senior level in this last year. He was, last year he lost in the quarterfinals to Kasahara from Japan, who was unseeded, and then in the repechage. But since then, he's fought in and placed 3rd in 3 senior tournaments and 1st in 1 of them. But the most important thing, I think, is that he's played Saeed Molari 3 times. Once in 2018, when he actually threw Molari for Ippon.
We're talking about the former world champion
Yes,
there as well.
Saeed Malai. But
senior world champion.
Yeah, senior world champion. But in 2019, he's played him twice. Both times, both times very, very seriously.
Yeah.
Malai has had to take him very seriously.
Yeah.
So I think that if he's able to really pull it all together today, he's going to do extremely well, and he's definitely going to be one to watch.
Yeah, that is actually one of the best ever intros that I've heard, because I'm excited now at looking at Tato Grigolashvili. So good work there, Gene. You got me.
I worked hard on that one.
You got me excited about watching that one. It hadn't sunk in, about the. It hadn't sunk in about just how tough Grigolashvili.
He
tough a competitor.
He's a little uneven, though, and I think that he's still, even though he's played at the senior level, it's like he's still hanging on to some of that junior sort of mental, emotional composure, and so I want to see if he's made the transition today.
Right. We shall find out, and it won't be long.
No.
He's got a teammate in the under 81 kilo
That's
category
right.
alongside him, Vladimir Akhalkatsi as well. So you've got two Georgians in there. Do you know something? This could be Georgia's tournament.
They've
already got a gold medal, and they haven't yet put out their big guns.
Their big guns today and tomorrow. Right.
This is good. I think this is going to be quite a tournament for Georgia. Right. Let's take a look at the top 4 seeds in the under 90 kilo category. The number 4 seed is Mashiyama Kosuke of Japan. Number 3 seed is Mohamed Halbi of Egypt. The number 2 seed is Darko Brasniovic of Serbia. And the number 1 seed is Lasha Bekauri of Georgia.
Now, Lasha Bekauri is, without doubt, a very, very powerful entry into this weight class. He took first last year at the Junior World Championships, but since then, he's also just had an amazing, time. He has 2 Continental Cup championship golds. He has 1 Continental Open gold and 4 Continental Cup golds. So he's a very, very seasoned competitor. There's no doubt about that. But the 4th seed, Mashiyama Kosuke from Japan, doesn't have that deep record. We've talked about how Japan doesn't tend to send its players to that number of international tournaments. But Mashiyama has only lost twice, ever, both to Bekauri. So that he has trained specifically to come and play Bekauri today. Now, they should meet in the, I think, quarterfinals. So that's the match to look for. So those 2 players are what to look for, but that particular match is something to look for as well.
Today, this could be my favorite day. There's just so many things to look at. And usually also there are some other players in that under 70 kilo category that we're talking about. In particular, Ai Tsunoda. I really, really want to see how she's going to get on in the juniors, having been so commanding, so dominating in the cadets. She was head and shoulders above the opposition there. So I want to see if she can make that step up.
But her last match against Kelly Peterson-Pollard, Pollard caught her with that katatejime and put her out in under a minute.
Right. Now, do you know what half of the draw? Kelly Peterson-Pollard is the number 1 seed, so she's in the top. And Tsunoda, luckily for her, I think, is down there in Pool D, as far away as possible from Kelly Peterson-Pollard as you can get.
So hopefully that'll be a great final.
Right. Okay, we've got 3 mats going here. The choice is yours. Mat number 1, Simon Sulla of Estonia, Mariano Cortobraisna of Argentina. That's in the under 90 kilo category. Down on mat number 2, Vladimir Akhalkatsi of Georgia will go up against Caitlin Marian of Moldova. But we're going to go to mat number 3. It's the opening contest in the under 81 kilo category. Alexis Zudenevs of Latvia. He'll be up against Takeichi Daisuke of Japan. It'll be Zarudenevs in the white judogi, Takeichi in blue, and here is Jin Shin.
So this is just going to be a great day. These are all the weight classes are amazing, but now we're getting into weight classes that I particularly love because this is close to where I fought as well. My weight category doesn't even exist anymore. It was 95 kilos, so that was a long time ago. But we're getting up into weight classes now where there's still tremendous speed, but also real, there's just an increase in power at these weight classes, and you're going to see that today. So, beginning with Zarudnevs from Latvia versus Takeichi from Japan. And by this time in the tournament, everybody's had several days to warm up with their teammates and get acclimated to this climate, which has been very, very pleasant, actually. First time on the African continent, and therefore Morocco as well. I didn't know what to expect, but it's been really, really nice. The temperature's warm, but not humid. In this tent, the venue has been great. It's a really unique place. I've never seen a competition area like this, but it's been a lot of fun. The people have been amazing, welcome, and supportive. So I think everybody is feeling really good at this point. Okay, after a couple of opening cycles, players are getting used to each other. I think we're going to start to see some real action now. Just under 3 minutes left. Zarudnevs in for a Sewanage. Takeichi stopping it pretty handily. Takeichi looking for a strong left grip. Coming in on the inside. Zarudnevs, and then turning to the right and getting a very, very nice throw for the Ippon. So Japan, off to a roaring start with Takeichi Daisuke.
Winner of Tatami 3 in blue for Japan, Takeichi Daisuke.
Okay, we'll just stay here on this mat. Up next, so pausing a second to hear my friend Georgi, who researches names. We were talking about this last night, actually. He himself is from Georgia, and he does big Ippon Sewanage for Giga Abuashvili from France. A Georgian name, but a French player. And no point because Shadverian was able to spin out of it and land on his front, avoiding any kind of score. And at the same time picking up Bushido for overly defensive posture, what got him into trouble and allowed Abuashvili to get that entry. Anyway, just to finish my thought real quickly about names, Georgi, the announcer, my friend the announcer, he works really, really hard at researching all these names. He goes online, he asks coaches, he asks team players, how do you pronounce this name? And so he's been doing this for several years, so he's quite experienced. And so whenever I have a doubt, I'm going to try and hear how he says it. Shadverian. Shadverian is trying to do a little newaza there, but not particularly seriously. 2:24 left in the competition in the match. Abuashvili, strong right grip, and then left. Ippon Sewanage for the Ippon. Really set Chatverian up very cleanly. Getting a strong right hand grip, and then coming in for a left side attack. Keeping his right hand firmly on the collar, and then threading his left arm through and up under Chatverian's armpit. Maybe we can get to see that again.
Tatami 3, winner in blue judo for France, Mika Abuashvili.
Maybe Freddie can pull that up again. Okay, up on now on mat 3. From Bosnia Herzegovina.
In white judo representing Bosnia and Herzegovina, Buk Ellis.
Buk Ellis.
Ukraine, Artyom Bubir.
Bubir from Ukraine. Ellis from Bosnia and Herzegovina. So one thing you may be wondering is if we've mentioned several names of people to look for, but you won't see them in the first round generally because of the way that the brackets work out. If you're unfamiliar with this, many of the top seeds, or most, if not all, the top seeds will not have a match the first round. A lot of these first round matches will be the people who are either very, very low seeded or aren't seeded at all. And then the top 8 seeds will have a match the second round. Boubier trying to turn Elez over, but Elez doing a great job of being very, very defensive, and I understand now, Sheldon and I were talking yesterday about how work on the ground now counts in terms of how you're being judged for passivity or for positive play. Oh, nice turn by Boubier. Elez just turning out and avoiding getting not only... Oh, well, Boubier picked up the Wazari, avoiding getting a complete throw. Have an overhook, I think Boubier had. Really grinding Elez over. So, Boubier up by Wazari with just 2 minutes halfway through the match. Oh, Boubier trying to come in for Uchimata. Oh, and missing it. And then Elez immediately going into a very, very strong Jujigatame and getting it. Nice job on Elez's part. I'd like to skip over to mat 1 and pick up a 90 kilo match, our first 90 kilo match of the day. And pick up 2 countries we haven't seen a whole lot of today, or this week. A few matches, but first one. Already had a throw and was scored for Wazari under review. It's Han Ju-yup from Korea. Okay, so the Wazari was waved off versus Geronimo Salcedo from Mexico. Han Ju-yup in white, Sosedo in blue. So, Sosedo being very active, trying to come in. Referee pausing the match so that Sosedo has a chance to get up. When they're completely separated like that, the referee will stop the match so that, because play is, ooh, nice Sewanage by Han, again for Wazari. I don't think there's going to be any doubt about that one. Sosedo just spinning out enough to keep it from being a full ippon. Sosedo has this right hand grip, but Han Ji-up has his left hand grip inside. Oh, Kochigari! That was a clean ippon. You could see how, even though Han, I don't know that he even had the second hand. He must have gotten it just as he was coming in for the throw. But really, really good grip with the left on the collar, and then coming in with the left foot to catch across Sosedo's foot and driving him down for that Kochigari. Really pretty, classic technique.
Very quickly, before we move to the next contest, whatever it happens to be, I'm going to introduce something that's been happening over the last couple of days. It's a little bit of a story about one of the fighters that we were talking to. It's a Spanish fighter, and I'll come back and tell you a little bit about it afterwards. We happen to have a Spanish fighter on the tatami now.
Yeah.
Right, I'll leave you with that, Gene. I'll get that all prepared. I'll let you introduce them, either stay here or go somewhere else, but here's Gene again.
Okay, let's just go ahead and stay here. So this is Fares Hobi from Egypt. I think the first Egyptian player we may have seen, versus Cilia Koch from Spain. Kabuliani doesn't sound very Spanish to me.
I'm going with, the go-to country that everyone has one.
Georgia. Oh, goodness, that could have been ugly. Big lift from the Spaniard. Because Spain's known for their lifts. But Sobi was in completely the wrong angle and thankfully came down okay, but no score. Egypt has a long history of having large players in judo. One of the most famous being one back in the 80s. Very primitive times when I was playing. Rashwan from Egypt. It's just an enormously talented, amazing judoka. Oh, big attempt at shimewaza, choking technique by Sobi. But he was out of position.
Next contest, first round, weight under 81 kilos. In white judo representing North Macedonia, Eddie Sherifovsky.
Sobi with the right hand grip. On the inside this time, Kabuliani on the outside. Okay, and just dragging Sobi down to the ground for the Wazari. Okay, Kabuliani on the inside. I don't know, Kabuliani is still on the inside, Sobi on the outside. He seems pretty comfortable there, and he just likes to work from the outside. Of course, he's a big guy, so got a lot of reach. Kabuliani now coming over the back this time, changing up his grip a bit. Let's see if he comes on the big hip. Sobi coming in with his own hip attack. And really struggling to try and get something going. And Kabuliani just staying in the center, just being really dogged and driving Sobi down. That's not a score, though, because Kabuliani didn't throw him. Sobi was trying to get his own technique going and fell in the process of trying to execute that, but Kabuliani didn't have any kind of throw, any kind of active technique going. .128 left in the contest. Kabuliani has a nice lead, but has continued to remain active. I always like to see that instead of there are a lot of players who will kind of sit on a lead and not really work so positively anymore, so much as just try and wait out the rest of the match. Kabuliani's remained fairly active. Oh, nearly grabbed the leg down there as he came down. Sobi coming in trying to get this Jujigatame. I don't think he's going to get it though. Looks to me like Kabuliani's arm is far too, out of position. Plus, you start to get up to this size, doing Jujigatame like this is kind of like doing an armbar on a tree. Of course, they're all the same size, so. So Sobi, he's got a minute to get on the scoreboard at least, or to win. He's been really good coming in, and I think, that was really close to getting his own Wazari. And Kabuliani, not just stopping the throw, but getting into this variation on a pin. This is kind of a reverse Keizegatame, an Ushiro Keizegatame, but only around the arm, not up around the body. So that was really strong. Of course, he only had to hold it for 10 seconds since he already had the Wazari. And it will be Cilia Kabuliani from Spain over Fares Sobi from Egypt. Okay, we'll continue to stay on mat 1 and pick up our first match from the U.S. today. I'd like to try and pay a little attention to fellow Americans. Jeffrey Stout from USA versus Gennaro Pirelli from Italy. And then in a few matches coming up, let me see, I want to make sure I have the right guy. Okay, so Jeffrey Stout in white, Gennaro Pirelli in blue. Helps if I look at the right sheet. Okay. So I mentioned that one of the people we want to watch in the under 90 kilo weight class is Lasha Bekauri, but there are two, as I think Sheldon mentioned, in the under 90 kilo weight class. There are actually two Bekauris from Georgia in the 90 kilo weight class. Lasha Bekauri, seated at number 1, and Michele Bekauri, who is unseated. And Michele Bekauri will be coming up soon. So, Jeffrey Stout trying to get a little bit of Newaza going, but doesn't look. Gennaro Pirelli looks too locked up, too closed to get anything really positive moving. Stout in for a big Osoro. Chigari for Stout. Stout has a strong right hand grip. Oh! Pirelli in for a big spinning kind of Sewanage entry, but Stout throttling that back. Almost bringing him down in a counter, but Pirelli standing up. Spin out of that too.
Number 3, first round, 81 kilos, in white for Russia. David Karapetyan. In blue for People's Republic of China, Li Shuo.
Stout going for a double lapel grip, which is gives you a lot of power. It allows you to really, really haul on your opponent, but it compromises a bit of control. It's hard to get big turns that way. Trying to come in for a Sewanage, but Pirelli stops him short from getting a full entry. So much so that the referee felt like it was a false attack, which is a fair call. I'm not sure I agree, but I think it's a fair call. It was really, really shallow. And if Stout wants to avoid that, he has to come in much, much deeper. And that's going to be hard to do as long as he has this double lapel grip and Pirelli is controlling the sleeves as he is. Now, Pirelli coming up over the back and really bringing Stout down.
Do you think he's related to Nicole? Nicole Stout.
I don't know.
Got that kind of... it's the timing, and the weight category.
Uh-huh.
She's not 48 kilos. So she's around about the same kind of weight. It's the same time. I just get that feeling that it's not a common name.
No, but
so
there's so much variation in American names that.
I reckon that they are related.
They could be. Yeah, judo families.
Yeah.
We should ask.
I'll never leave the warm-up area, would I?
Yeah.
Down there all the time asking questions. 2 penalties picked up by Jeffrey Stout.
Yeah, that second one was defensive posture, which is another...
Oh,
okay, there we go. That was much better. But this double lapel grip has gotten him into trouble. That's why he got the second call, is because this double defensive posture, double lapel grip, it affords you a lot of power, but it's really, really good at defense. And so, it's if you're not attacking a lot with it, you're gonna get called. And now he might get called for stepping out.
A little bit too easy. You have to be able to stand up stronger
and
to
pivot.
That. Yeah,
and
left or right, but not
out.
back. That there is. We were talking about this, weren't we?
Yeah.
There are three choices here.
And I never have liked this rule, but that one was very clear.
Yeah.
Pirelli just worked him over to the corner, and he just stepped out. Yeah. Instead of being, you have to be mindful of the competition area, and it's a very annoying thing to have to really think about, but you have to think about it. You have to be mindful of the competition area and aware when you worked into a corner, and then work out of it or use it. It's just part of being a competitor.
Any doubt in your mind that is exactly what the Italian wanted?
Oh, that's exactly what it wanted.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know it. I know it. Stout should know it.
Stout has now had a great lesson. He's now had a great experience where he can learn this and take it forward. And I don't know how old he is, but I don't have any doubt we'll be seeing him again.
The Italian wants only one thing, and no doubt he's also manoeuvred him in there.
Yeah.
Almost to the point where he's pushing him. We all know that. However, you've got to do something about it.
You've got to do something about it.
Ivan Dubina of Belarus is already on the board, scoring Vasari early against this Cypriot opponent, who Gene is going to tell you all about. Here's Gene.
You just want me to say his name. Krusaniotakis. How's that?
Nailed it.
Krusaniotakis.
Nailed
from
it.
Cyprus. Second player from Cyprus we've seen who's just been so intriguing. Okay, that was a really, really slow Chigardi. Probably the most... Oh, big Tomonage! No, Wazari? Krusaniotakis really turned. But he is picking up the penalty for non-combativity against Dubina.
I'm not surprised. Who's done it, nothing else but attack.
Yeah. But in this, in this curiously moderate pace, it's almost like he's moving in slow motion. But there's this kind of inevitability to it that Krusaniotakis doesn't seem to be able to avoid. We'll see how it goes, though. 3 minutes now. That was all in the first minute. Okay, we've had a lot in this match. So maybe now's a good time to tell us what you were...
I think I'm going to try and do it in between
the
contests, so I won't interrupt you too much. I'll set things up and have it ready just to talk a little bit about Miera La Puerta from Spain in the under 48 kilo category. I'll come back to that.
Right, who we watched the other day.
Yeah.
Okay. So it'll be a while before we get to... it looks like it'll be a while before we get to any of the women's contests.
True. But before that, here on mat 1, we're going to have a view of Michele Bikauri, followed by Lasha Bikauri. Back-to-back contests for the two Georgians in the under 90 kilo category.
Right, and I was going over that detail earlier again, just to make sure it's really clear that there are two Bikauris, and the one in particular that, of course, we're interested in all the competitors, but the one in particular that we're emphasizing today is Lasha Bikauri, who's seated number 1. So getting through the round 1 matches pretty quickly here on mat 1. And they're all still on round 1. There are no round 2 matches coming up yet on the other 2 mats. So Kurusani Otakis trying to catch up. Okay, that looks like maybe a penalty for Dubina. There you go, false attack.
You're going to be getting one of those badges soon.
Oh, I expect it any moment now.
It's so funny that
it's so overdue.
It's so funny that you mentioned about, we've got a while to wait for the women's judo, which, by the way, is now on.
It's now on mat 2. I was only yeah.
Well, we're sticking here anyway. So.
Yeah. So if you're interested in the set under 70 kilogram women, please feel free to switch to mat 2 at any time. And you're free to go back and forth between all of the matches, all the mats. Kurusani Otakis is still trying to get in there, but he just is not able to get past Dubina's posture or his stance. And Dubina picks up a second penalty, though, so now they both have 2 penalties with a minute left to go. Dubina really has a responsibility for picking it up and continuing to stay positive, because if he doesn't, he could lose this match. That's always unfortunate. I've seen it a few times where people have lost matches rather than other people winning matches, where through inaction or mistake, people have coming in for. See, again, it's so interesting to me that Dubina has this. Is it Dubina or Dubina? Dubina has this.
Dubina, I think. Got it.
Curiously, almost I don't want to say lethargic approach, but it's very.
It's got that feel about it.
Yeah. But it's the opposite of explosive. He has this unexplosive way of coming in, and yet still throwing Kurusani Otakis. Or at least off-balancing him and bringing him down. Kurusani Otakis, knowing that time's running out, really got to give it a good shot here. Coming in with several attacks in a row, but just not pulling Dubina off balance. So it will be Ivan Dubina from Belarus advancing to the second round over Kurusani Otakis from Cyprus. His name is so long it doesn't have room.
Yeah.
We can't see his first name. Oh wait, I have it here.
Georgios, I think.
Georgios.
Is it Georgios?
Yes.
Okay. Right, Martin Bezdek, a little bit of a easier name to deal with, of the Czech Republic, faces Wang Yang of China. Is Bezdek in the white judogi, Wang in blue.
One thing I was just chatting about was how much respect I have for our friend the announcer, Georgi, who we were talking last night actually about how it was big Koshiguruma by Bezdek. for the Ippon. Wow, that was one of the biggest rotations I've seen in the tournament. And it looks like
he's struggling, really struggling on that left leg, the left foot.
Yeah.
And that didn't help. Let's have a look, see where he goes with it.
Tsurigoshi, big, or Koshiguruma, really big, and then he just lands on it. So looking at his left foot. Boom. Yeah.
And it's so heavily strapped.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah, and he's limping off.
Yeah. I don't think today was Wang's day.
No.
Okay, the first Bakauri. Mikhaili Bakauri from Georgia, and Sebastian Oldak from Poland, who apparently they also have pretty tough promotional standards.
Yeah.
Coming out with the brown belts. Bakauri looks to me like he's got his fingers inside the sleeve there. They both did. They both. You can hang. You can get a cuff grip, but you have to throw. You can't just hang out there because it's too defensive. You can really lock somebody down, and it's not fair play. So once you get a grip way down on the cuff, either a cat's paw grip or a pistol grip or whatever, you have to attack. The one grip that's still not legal is putting your fingers inside the sleeve. You can't do that. So that's an immediate Shido. Okay.
I didn't realize you could sign.
Well, I just learned what your little gestures mean. So Sheldon's giving me little signals like, say this too.
But the nicest thing is, rather than stopping someone in the middle of their conversation, and if you've got something to add, rather than jumping in and adding, give some signals, hand signals, because we're not on. You can't see us. So right. I do the same with Neil and Loretta, and Neil's looking at me sometimes, and then he nods, and then he says it, and I start laughing because he then comes out as this fountain of all knowledge.
Yeah. Sheldon's sharing his knowledge through me.
Why not?
You.
Why not?
I'm just a conduit.
Good one. Tell you what, you caught me this morning with that preview.
Oh yeah?
I'm really looking forward to it now.
Okay. Yeah.
Great little preview, Gene. Well done.
And really, the main thing I'm looking forward to seeing from Grigolashvili, he's talking about Grigolashvili from Georgia, is really the thing that I think the one thing that's held him back is his mental composure. Just because when he gets frustrated, and it happens, when he gets frustrated, he'll start to do some of the little things that you'll see young players do. They'll start to, dawdle with their gi, or they'll wander around the mat.
Get distracted by things that the referee has said. Yeah.
That's the one thing. And if he, but he clearly can be a great player. And so I want to see if he is able to do that today. And I think that's what held him back last year at this tournament. He lost his first match. And big Sewarage by Oldak over Bakauri. Really a good struggle there. I should have been talking about this, but they were doing a great job of. They're doing a great job of really wrangling in there, trying to get their grip in. Oldak really comes through.
Well, that's one Bakauri we won't be seeing later on.
Nope.
He's looking across there. You know what he's looking for, don't you?
Yeah.
He's just hoping.
They call it back.
Beyond hope that they'll change it to Wazari, but it's not going to happen. No. And how does the other Bakauri feel coming on, having just seen that?
All right, we'll have to see.
You can swap chairs now. This is going to be the funniest bit of coaching I've seen in a while, because the other Bakauri's in white. So he gives him a tap. Off you go. Oh, there's another coach, so it won't matter.
Right. Wait a second. Oh, okay. Yes, other Bakauri, right. Yeah. I was getting confused between Bakauri and Grigolashvili. Okay, so all these wonderful Georgians. Oh, goodness. That could have been a really ugly landing. So great hip technique by Bakauri, bringing Turo Turoboyev over, but Turoboyev kept his head up and instead of going with the fall, really was working to avoid getting the score.
He's going to go again.
Yeah.
This is the wrong tactic from the Uzbek here. You don't want to get involved in let's see who's got the biggest hip technique.
No.
Excuse me, you're going up against the Georgian, the defending world champion, and you think you're going to slug it out with him.
Right.
Change tactic.
The Georgian national bird, rock, and animal is the hip throw.
Yeah.
So, you just don't want to. It's like, no, do something else. Do hip counters, do ashiwaza, do something, do hand techniques. And Turoboyev has this, look at that length.
Massive. Keep him away from you.
Incredibly tall. Use your hands and use those legs and start doing this ashiwaza. Start taking him off his feet. But, of course, Uzbek likes their lifts and hip throws, too.
Again,
but they're not Georgia.
In the battle of the hip techniques, who do you think is going to come out on top?
No. Hip throws are their national industry.
So shut that down. Make it difficult for Lasha to come up with something. No, you just offer it up from the get-go.
But anyway, Turoboyev kept his head up in order to avoid the ippon, and he did avoid the ippon, but I have to say this whenever I see something like that. It's terrible, terrible ukemi. It's terrible falling technique.
Dangerous.
Don't do this at home. Do not do that. Because you're going to break your neck. These guys are at the top of their physical fitness. They've been training. They're doing lots of things in order to take all kinds of different falls. If you're unless you're operating at this level, take a good fall. You learn more from a good fall than by fighting a good throw. Okay, both players now picking up the Shido for passivity. And again, Turoboyev trying to come in for that big over-the-shoulder grip, getting the back and getting his hip in. But Bikari is just ready for that. It's so ready for that. So not only is Turoboyev trying to come in for hip throws, but he's doing them without any setup. And so Bikari can see it coming. He's ready for it to come.
First round for the women under 7.
Now Bikari has to keep going. Coming in with his own hip throw. So again, battle of the hip techniques. Nothing happens. Both go down to the mat.
Cilia Koch.
So I really wonder if Turoboyev just doesn't have any ashiwaza. He certainly hasn't been using any. And that's the thing I would be saying. If I were his coach, I'd be saying, Kochigari, Ochigari, Dashi Harai, Okuriashi. Well, and whatever they say, and I'm sure they use Japanese terms in Georgia. So lots of low foot techniques. Because with these long legs, you have the opportunity to do that. You could really sweep people away. Oh, big. Again, same thing though.
Almost caught him with the Taniotoshi counter. Just going around the back.
Yep. But Turoboyev's stance was too wide.
Yeah.
And that's a benefit of these long legs. He can put one foot here and one foot in Morocco and another foot in the Sahara, and you're not going to throw him. Ooh, there's a great match going on mat 2 between Slovenia and Japan. Okay. So Bikauri, you might have noticed that he had his grip on both hands on the same side, and you can do that too, but you have to attack. You have to attack quickly. Again, same side. So that's not a really smart. There we go. That's the Kochigari for the Wazari. Okay, so I was thinking that why is Bikauri attacking the outside all of that length? But what he did was he made Turoboyev really, really open up his stance, and then he came in very quickly, kept the same grip, but switched the attack to the inside. And because Bikauri was already so split in his stance, took him right down for the second Wazari into the ippon.
I'm not convinced about the tactics employed by Turoboyev against Bikauri. I don't feel that he ever really had Bikauri under any serious threat. There was a lot of, arms and legs flaying and movement and hips going in, but all of which, to me, suggested that at some stage, Bikauri was going to throw to Raboyev. It never really occurred to me that he would be successful with that kind of plan. And in the end, he ended up getting caught twice, when really he could have been caught 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times with that kind of tactic. Bad planning.
And I think I agree with you. With the caveat, though, that I think that if it had been almost, a lot of other players other than Bikauri, he might have been succceul. But we are talking about Bikauri.
Exactly. Only against this opponent.
Right.
But that
so it's
tactic
like
may have swamped people, other people, but not Bikauri. Go on, sorry, Gene.
No. So what that shows to me is that maybe he didn't do his homework and didn't come up with a specific plan for this guy, which is a big mistake coming into this level tournament. This is the first seed. Blaž Bikauri is not some, unknown. As I was saying in the beginning, he has had this amazing year. You know that if you're going to fight him, you better have a plan specifically tailor-made for him.
Right. We have seen both the Bikauris. One was successful, the other less so.
So
where do you want to go then?
Let's go to mat 2. I want to pick up the end of this 70-kilo match. We haven't seen any women yet today. And Asahi Mami from Japan is up by Wazari over Metka Lobnik from Slovenia. And Lobnik coming in from the outside. But while she's dragging Asahi down, that was never going to throw her because she never had her hips in. Lobnik was just out of position. However, it apparently was the end of a series of attacks, so Asahi picks up the passivity penalty. We're going to want to jump back to mat 1, though, and pick up the Mashiyama on a Ruri match. That's coming up in several mats.
Yeah, that's quite some time to go. Before that, we're going to have Miriam Chunk Turia of Georgia against Shakuitsa Nazarova of Uzbekistan. And even before that, it'll be Ai Tsunoda of Spain to go up against Medina Taimazova of Russia. Even the young Spanish girl that I was chatting to this morning, Mireia La Puerta, mentioned that would be a tough first contest. And I still haven't finished off the story about Mireia La Puerta, but I will come to that. For those of you who were here on day 1 and we chatted about Mireia.
Winner in white judo for Germany, Magdalena Galandi.
Oh, well, we're only one fight away from seeing Ai Tsunoda and Medina Taimazova down on mat number 3.
But that match between Mashiyama and Bikauri is the one that, I think that's going to be the one of the matches to watch because...
When is that?
That's this one. Well, that's coming up in the quarterfinals if Mashiyama gets through and Bikauri both get through.
Yeah, we got time.
Right, but we'll want to just see Mashiyama in this opponent match.
Well, at the same time, or the same kind of timing, Tato Grigolashvili will be up against Takeichi Daisuke of Japan.
An embarrassment of riches we have.
Yeah. Well, I know which one you would watch. If it was Mashiyama and Anu Aruli or Grigolashvili and Takeichi, I know which one you're going to go for.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, the number 1 seed, isn't it? Well, she's one of the seeds. Number 4. Number 4 seed. Right. Yassine Diatta of Senegal is up against Ashley Klinberg of the United States of America. Klinberg's got the brown belt on.
Big match for Klingberg, yeah. So this is a good match to start with, even though you don't having a seed is always a little bit intimidating, but having the 4th seed is somebody that that's a good strong challenge, good stiff challenge to start with. But if you can get past this one, then you've got a really really good path going forward. So let's see what Diatta's able to do against Klingberg. Klingberg they're both struggling with this right to left grip, this Kinkayotsu grip. Diada taking the right hand. Klingberg using the left. Both are Klingberg picking up a penalty though for stepping out, was it? So Diada really, really far back on her heels, and that was a good impulse to try and come in, but it was the wrong technique. Down for Wazari, and now into Osaikomi. Oh. If Klingberg had come in the inside for the Ko Uchigari, but she came into the outside for the Ko Soto, and Diada's stance was just too wide. Oh, that's unfortunate. It was a really, really good impulse, but Diada was ready. Came down, brought Klingberg down into the pin for the full point. Brave effort by Ashley Klingberg, but it will be Yassine Diada from Senegal advancing to the second round.
Tatami 2, winner in white, representing Senegal, Yassine Diada.
But you're very right too about choosing matches. If it comes down to the match to watch, it should be Gudegashvili versus Takeichi because the only person, I think the only people he's lost to have been either Molai from Iraq or a Japanese player. So that's it. Very, very few. He's had a couple of others, but it's really few. So.
Right, before we get too wrapped up in this one, let's go down to mat number 3. Because coming up there will be Ai Tsunoda of Spain. She'll be up against Madina Taimazova of Russia. It'll be Tsunoda in the white judogi, Taimazova in blue. This should be interesting. Down on mat number 3, please. There you go. That happens on my laptop sometimes.
A little stuck. There we go.
Your first look at Ai Tsunoda.
That's true. Nice haircut.
Ready.
Yeah, look at that.
That haircut says, I am ready.
So, Spanish and Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay, really, really vigorous approach, coming in immediately for the really low attack, and then switching off into not succeeding with that, but then immediately switching into Newaza. Taimazova just holding her off, but Tsunoda Rustant really doing a good job of methodically working her way through. Not quite making enough progress though, getting called.
You can see this is going to be a thought process for Taimazova here. How to deal with the different looks that she gets.
Well, she's going to have to move. She looks like she's rooted to the mat. Now, she had an attack there, but she immediately let go with her hands as she spun around. I would almost call that a false attack because there was really no attempt to throw there. It was just trying to stop Tsunoda from getting her grip. So we'll see if once they get up, the referee says, hey, false attack.
They may not. If she makes progress here.
Yeah,
no, she didn't.
No.
I'd have stopped it there.
Yeah. So one thing I'd like to come to at some point as well is a little more discussion about how active. Oh, no penalty. Okay. I guess that badge is farther off from me than. Anyway, a little more discussion about how mat work is being considered in activity and passivity, positive work.
Okay, maybe we will get Mr. Juan Carlos Barcos up there to chat about that.
Oh, that would be great.
He's the top man.
Sure. Right from the source. Because, I think that's a fantastic development. Something I've been wanting for decades. Okay, reverse Sewanage attack, but very minimal. Kind of surprising. Tsunoda really likes the mat. She clearly likes it a lot. Okay, got a better grip this time.
Yeah,
really on her way to the turn. Will Tamazova be able to hold it off? Can she resist? Will Tsunoda bring it through?
See, what she's trying to do is to put pressure in the shimiwaza area that will open up the opportunity for the turnover into Osai-komi.
Right.
Both of the things Tamazova's got to guard against, and she did that well there, actually.
Yep. I think the shimiwaza, the choke, wasn't quite in the right position.
3 times they've been to the ground, 3 times Tamazova has come out okay. Not sure what it is that Ai has some kind of mouth problem. Anyway, she's over it now.
Okay, Tamazova coming in for a big attack there. That was much more convincing, but Tsunoda really resisting it pretty well. Pretty easily, I should say.
Don't get turned here.
Now working in for a different newaza attack. This is Jijigatami trying to get that arm bar.
Yeah, she looks to have that blocked as well.
Yeah, Tamazova has been a really good turtle in this match on the ground. That's the common term. If you're new to judo and you don't know that, it's called turtling up. It's this defensive posture on the ground. Just create a huge shell of defense. So it looks like all of the standing work is just kind of a prelude to mat work this whole match.
Yeah, sure.
They're really not trying to throw either one of them.
Tsunoda's perfectly happy to work on the ground. No problems with that.
Yeah. And it's all been one way.
Yeah.
Tamazova hasn't had a single
Not a single effort on the ground,
attack.
She's always been on the receiving end of every attack. Chanturia, by the way, of Georgia is now on mat 2. She's underway with her contest. I'm sure we're going to get up to see Mashiyama as well now.
Yeah.
Because of the way that the timings have gone.
Okay.
So we will see that. And then we'll probably end up seeing Grigolashvili as well. Uchimata. Oh, good score! That is a good score. 28 seconds. Oh, that's it.
Wow.
That is it. And now the coach has just said, Batras Kaitmazov, the Russian coach, has just said, stiff arm out.
Yeah, Tsunoda's in a bad place. So that was really strategic. That was clearly what Tamazova was just waiting for this whole time. She, and it's amazing that she only picked up 1 penalty. And that's because actually Tsunoda's strategy actually facilitated that, because they spent so much time on the mat and burned up so much of the clock. Tamazova never was in a danger of being called for passivity.
Single score was enough for Medina Tamazova to move past the dangerous Ai Tsunoda of Spain. It'll be Tamazova who takes her place in the next round. The cadet world champion Ai Tsunoda of Spain has a little bit of work to do yet. Right.
Needs to upper standing game.
We could stay here and stay here even a little bit longer, but because Grigolashvili and Takaichi are up next. But there's a bit of jumping around to do. Let's go and have a look and see what's happening on mat number 2 with Miriam Chunk Turia of Georgia and Shokhista Nazarova of Uzbekistan. We joined the contest with a little over a minute left to go. Nazarova has picked up 2 penalties. There's no score as yet. It's Chunk Turia in the white judogi, Nazarova in blue, and whomsoever comes up first, Mashiyama or Grigolashvili, will go and have a look at that. I suspect it's going to be Grigolashvili and Takaichi, but I don't know. We'll see how the timings go.
You never do know.
And whatever happens, whichever of those
that'll be good to
come
watch.
up, we'll go and watch that as opposed to staying here. We're just filling in time to see how Chunk Turia gets on.
Well, Chunk Turia is, of course, one of Georgia's great hopes. They're really looking forward to this.
Not only here in the under 70 kilo category, but in the team event. She's going to be a pivotal player along with Ete Lipatiliani. The pair of them are going to be called on to perform again in the team event, because the weight categories are under 57, under 70 and plus 70 So the Georgians have already penciled in the under 57 kilo category the current junior world champion. So that's
Pretty good.
That who's having smashed the Japanese as well. So things are looking pretty good. Third penalty?
Yep,
yeah,
third
there
penalty.
was. Okay, well that saves us the trouble of doing anything. How far advanced are we?
They're both the
238.
same.
238 left in there. 243. There's
Yeah.
much of a muchness. I suspect that we're going to end up looking at Grigolashvili and Takeichi.
Well, let's stay with the women though.
Yeah. Okay.
For now.
We'll stay here.
Although it's a women's match also on mat 1. I'm at 3. So.
And number 2, next first round.
Eliana
women's
Aguiar of
57
Venezuela
kilo.
faces Karima Kechut of Algeria. It's Aguiar in the white judogi, Kechut in blue.
I think it's the first Algerian player I've seen.
Karima Kechut.
Okay. Unfortunate camera. I can't see what their hands are doing. There we go. Turn around so we can see. So Aguiar, you can see how she has that grip on with her left hand, really, really posting Keshu out, and it's a perfectly fine grip, but it's really, really excessively defensive. And if she doesn't start moving, she's going to get called. They might both get called, actually. So, yep, passivity from both of them. Because neither one had launched any kind of significant attack. Okay, mat 1 just had a big ippon for Han from Korea. Han Ju-yup from Korea.
You might get to see Mashiyama then.
And an ippon on mat 3. Let's go to Grigolashvili. Let's go to mat 3.
It was fate, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was good.
Winner.
So-
number 3, in white for Belarus.
So if we could go to mat 3.
Right, coming up on mat number 3, Tato Grigolashvili of Georgia faces Takeichi Daisuke of Japan. It'll be Grigolashvili in the white judogi, Takeichi in blue. There's Jean.
So some of the things too that I've noticed about Grigolashvili is that as all Georgian players, he's very, very physical. He's very, very strong. But he's got a really nice array of technique too. He doesn't just do hip techniques and lifts. He'll come in and attack from a variety of ways. He loves his mat work, and he's, as I was discussing this with our friend Georgi from Georgia last night, the announcer, about Georgian judo in general. They have a really, really distinct judo culture, and I was trying to find the right word for it. And I think the word that best describes it is rugged. It's very rugged judo, very robust, coming in, really using lots of power, but it's very, very effective. And so it's really interesting to see it up against, of course, the most classical kind of play, Japan, who just picked up a penalty for false attack when he's diving out of Grigolashvili's entry there. Oh, big. There we go. So, whoa. That was really interesting. Daisuke coming in for an attack that, almost looked like Kani Basami, which is, of course, illegal, but not coming around the legs, coming up around the waist and scissoring the waist and then bringing Grigolashvili straight down to his face. Oh my gosh, Mashiyama just threw for ippon in 5 seconds. 10 seconds. Sorry, that was both hands. So, Mashiyama easily threw his first match at 90 kilos. Grigolashvili having more of a challenge. So, again, coming in, nice, switching in, trying to come in for that big lift, but then for Tsurugoshi, but then switching off to Ouchigari and taking Takeichi for the ippon. Doing a really good job there of his back was to the referee and continuing to play and going into newaza, going into a pin. So this is one of the things I really like about Grigolashvili. Yeah, the Georgia-Japan match is something that we're really looking for. Sheldon's giving me all these signals. Georgia-Japan! This is the big matchup that we're looking for in the team championship later. But it's being set up here, too. So this is something that we'll probably see later on and we'll want to be thinking about. But look at this. He comes in, he's doing that Tsurugoshi, but then switches off really, really nicely to Uchigari, just bringing Daisuke down. Right. And the referee, it's right at the referee's feet. There's no way he could miss it. Beautiful call, beautiful placement. And that kind of thing, though, I think that's a really good example of what I'm talking about with Georgian judo. Very, very rugged, but Grigolashvili isn't just this physical player. He also has the facility to come in very technically with a Georgian flair, this very technical combination. It's a classic combination of this Tsurugoshi, this big lifting hip throw, down into Ouchigari when your opponent drops his weight. So really good example of classic judo with a Georgian approach. So I'm just looking at what matches are coming up, seeing where we want to go. So I think for the moment we'll stay here between Lachlan Moorhead from Great Britain versus Giga Abouashvili from France. Another good French-Georgian name, Abouashvili. So, and that's an interesting combination too. France, of course, is one of the great judo countries. And have an old judo culture all their own. So it'll be interesting to see how this particular Abouashvili, what his judo is like, coming from Georgia, a Georgian playing for France. I'm sure Sheldon is off talking to some of the other players. But if when he comes back, I'll try to remember and ask, what is Abouashvili's history? Has he been in France long? Is he actually French? Or has he a more recent transplant? Okay, there's a big Georgian kind of thing. Coming in up over the back and down for Sumigaish. Big vertical lift for the Wazardi against Moorhead. So that kind of super direct attack, coming into that big grip and then stepping through, sitting in really, really deep, getting that leg right up into the thigh, bringing him straight over and maintaining superb control of the upper body so that Moorhead cannot cartwheel or spin. He was just able to turn it off to avoid the full ippon. And now Moorhead is in the unenviable position of having to play catch-up. Okay, line up on your own side. Ooh. Okay, so let's see how Moorhead is able to do now. Mostly, okay, coming in, really good use of tension there. Moorhead was really, really being hauled on by Abouashvili and had both hands on the inside. And that sets up this tremendous tension where Moorhead is really, really having to hold Abouashvili out and then all of a sudden releasing and coming in for his own low kind of, that kataguruma. So really good use of tension on Moorhead's part. However, Abouashvili was ready. He was able to, well, maybe not ready, but he was able to respond and keep the throw from completing. Abouashvili down for Tomonage, but way, way too far away. Nothing like that big, deep hip penetration that we saw earlier down at Moorhead's feet. He was a good meter away. So I think that was more to... Oh, nice! That was okay. Really interesting change-up from the earlier sacrifice technique. This was, again, coming up over the back, but instead of coming directly forward into Sumigaishi, he went to the side for Yoko Otoshi, which is not typically done with that kind of over-the-back grip. because you have your opponent so not classically done. You have your opponent so compressed. You see he gets it over and then he sits down to the side. Beautiful, beautiful Yoko Otoshi. Side drop. Dropping down to the side, driving his foot well past, and then just making Moorhead come right over. And Moorhead just knows that, that was just too good. Really, really well done. So it's all men now on all three mats. On mat 1, we have 90 kilos. Mat 2 is 81. And here we still are at 81 on mat 3. Check out who's coming up.
Sur le tapis numéro 1, Tony Meltig de Bosnie-Herzégovine.
So we'll just stay here for the time being. We have Hamza Kabdani from Morocco versus Vuk Elez from Bosnia and Herzegovina. No score, just over a minute gone. And we're seeing passivity on both players. Kabdani going for a left side grip. Oh, and then Elez really driving, but then Kabdani taking a nice attack, using Elez's reach, launch into a Sewanage, but Elez sprawling out, keeping it from any kind of score.
I don't know whether you'd be interested in having a look at seeing what's taking place on mat number 2. That's in the under 81 kilo category. Aybol Nisanli and Vladimir Akhalkatsi of Georgia. Maybe we'll get to see the Georgian. No, maybe we'll get to see the Georgian a little bit later on anyway.
Okay.
we'll hang on here, yeah.
Elez picking up a second penalty. Both players, Kabdani coming in, he's been the one, attacking more, but these attacks are not convincing. They're staying a little bit superficial. So there was one where he had a really good, really manipulated Elez, but then this last one wasn't so good. Still, keeps him in the running, whereas Elez has now got 2 penalties, and if he picks up a third, he's out, and he has got to get an attack going here. Certainly very aggressive with his kumikata, with his grip strategy, but then he just comes down and he bends into this position where it's super difficult to attack from there. Especially when Kabdani has got the grip that he has, where it's really going to hold Elez down, and so there we go. Kabdani just knocking Elez down, and Elez is probably going to pick up, oh my goodness. I'm really surprised he didn't pick up another penalty there, either for false attack or for passivity. If Kabdani gets one more big, okay, there's a Tomonage, a very an inadequate Tomonage in that he didn't get Elez. Okay, false attack. Okay, yeah, that was a bad choice. Kabdani really had an opportunity to really be driving the narrative here, but instead he wrote himself into a corner. Okay, there we go. That was good. Coming in for 2 Sewanages. That one wasn't as good. Perfunctory. That's the word I'm looking for. A perfunctory attack. Elez now. Oh, really trying to get that Sankaku, but letting go of it. I wonder couldn't see why from here, this angle. "37 seconds left." Kabdani, I think, feeling the fatigue a bit. You see a player kneeling while they're fixing their gi. That's usually a sign that they're kind of playing a little bit for time, catching their breath, getting their heart rate down a bit. Elez with also a perfunctory attack. More to just stay in rather than really trying to throw. And of course, that's such a dangerous thing to do because you're just as likely to be called for a false attack, because it is. It's not really an attempt to throw. You can't just show that you're in the game. You have to be in the game. Okay, that was nice little exchange. Really turning up the energy there. That's how he could be playing the whole time. Look, Elez from Bosnia-Herzegovina. So no score. Going into golden score in this 81 kilo match. Oh, nice. Kabdani in for an attack, and Elez turning him nicely, but not in any way that could be recognized as a throw. But that was a nice energetic exchange. Trying to get a turn here. Really interesting kind of turn. Now if he could just rotate more to his left. He's really, really trying to pry Kabdani over. That whole tying the arm up with the leg is something that Yamashita was very famous for doing, using the legs to get an arm lock, a Kansetsu waza, but Kabdani wasn't trying to do that at all. He was just trying to use it as a big lever. I'm sorry, Elez was just trying to use that as a big lever. Kabdani clearly fatigued, kind of wandering the long way around the mat to get very, very low Tayotoshi for Elez Vuk Elez, but very, very far out. Tayotoshi being a hand throw. Hands are the principal mechanism for the throw. And while he had big movement with his, see, here we go, this big walkabout Kabdani is doing. Elez, big movement on Elez's lower body, but not enough with the hands. Similar thing with Elez just now. Kabdani just now. I keep getting their names confused. Okay, there's a really good picture of Sankaku. And that was really deep, but now Elez his legs have moved up a bit, and Kabdani's head, see, Kabdani's head was just kind of slipping. Elez doesn't seem to have quite either Kabdani's really good at shrugging the Sankaku off, or Elez just doesn't quite have the knack yet of locking that Sankaku in and keeping it really deep up around the neck and the upper quadrant of the body.
The number 2, next contest, second round, weight number 81 kilo. In white judo gi,
almost 2 minutes into golden score. Both players have a penalty. Pretty sure that that's how this is going to end up. One player's going to, yep, they're going to pick up a penalty. The question is which one? They were both being very passive, right? Okay. Kabdani clearly had the grip on the same side, too long, giving the match to Elez. So that's an example of somebody losing a match as opposed to somebody winning a match. So let's go to mat 2, where one of the seated players in 81 kilos, Benedict Todt. I might be mistaken in that, because there are several Tots in this weight classes at 81 and 90, so I might be thinking of a different Todt. 81. No, right. So anyway, not seated, but a player from Hungary versus Azerbaijan. Todt Benedict.
He's got a good name though.
Hungary, yep.
In that weight category.
Yeah. And Murad Fatiev from Azerbaijan. I think we might have seen Tote in last year's World Championships as well. It is interesting how, as we've observed, there can be similarity of names for different players, and that's happening here in these weight classes. We have two Bukauris. We might have 2 or 3 different Totes across 2 different weight classes, so my apologies. Anyway. Okay, passivity on Fatiev. Oh, wow. That was kind of singular, that sort of exchange. Super high, and yet really close. So really, really coming in. Hands way, way up in the air. Now, okay. Tote Benedek. Just kind of being ground down into the ground. He's having trouble staying up in the standing game. But Fatiev not doing a great job of capitalizing on, neither one of them seems to be able to get something really positive going. And Tote picking up first penalty for stepping out. Oh, waved off. Oh, big Ouchigari by Fatiev. And something he's doing that I always feel like is an indication of poor focus is he'll try a technique and then he'll look to the referee to see if it's a score instead of keeping his focus on his opponent. This is not an uncommon thing among players. They want to see if their technique was successful, but it really is a flaw in how you play. If you do that, your focus is divided. You're not really focused on keeping your opponent under control, but on what the referee is doing, and that's not where you need to pay attention. So Tote Benedict, again, he has this interesting stance where he's coming in and he focuses really high. And it's like his center of balance is too high. But Fatiev is not taking advantage of that. Fatiev could be dropping up underneath. Tote really likes to come in high, and Fatiev likes to come in high too. So they both like battling for the same ground up. Oh, there we go. Fatiev dropping down really low in for a Sewanage, but really, really too far out. Only had one hand solidly set. And we're in the last minute of regulation time. No score, 1 penalty each. Oh! Okay, big turn, but no score at all because they were both down. You can get thrown while you're on your knees, but you can't throw from your knees. Okay, second Shido. Second penalty for Tote for false attack. So the way I would describe this particular play in this match is diffuse. They're very diffuse in what they're doing. Neither one of them seems to be able to really settle into a really good grip. And Fatiev in particular seems to be more about playing the referee than playing the match. He turns to the referee, like in that last little bit, you saw how Tote was really struggling against Fatiev's attack and dropping down, and then Fatiev turns to the ref and opens his hands up. It's like, look at this. He's trying to tell the ref what she should do. And okay. So again, not playing the match, sort of. His focus is in the wrong place. So Sheldon's just helped me out. I've been mispronouncing Tot's name. It's Tot Benedict. Benedict, not Tote. My apologies. But at least I got it right just before the end. So. And while I was looking at that, I apologize again. I missed how Fatiev got the Wazari. But, so, Fatiev, Murad from Azerbaijan with the Wazari over Tot Benedict from Hungary. Okay, up next, we have Milonelis from Greece and Lee Sang-jun from Korea. Athanasios Milonelis from Greece. Okay, and Lee picking up a penalty almost immediately for stepping out. Milonelis adopting a super low stance, coming down for a really low kategoruma, but not really moving Lee at all. Lee never moved off his feet. Never broke his balance. So speaking of judo cultures, Korea has also a very strong and robust judo culture itself as well. And I would say that it's also very classically oriented, but also very, very physical. Milonelis really coming in, I would say. Of course, Greece has the longest grappling histories in the world with wrestling. I think you can kind of see that in somehow Milonelis is moving. Wow, no Wazari for that. So that was, Milonelis came down, coming in underneath, trying to get another variation on kategoruma, I would say. And then Lee taking him down. I'm not sure why that wasn't a score. Why wasn't that? Maybe because Lee never was just going with it instead of driving him. And Lee almost getting a pin. Milonelis getting a little poke in the face there. It happens when you're really, really trying. Both players are really trying to get a grip. A hand could get misdirected up into the eye inadvertently. Okay, you see, Milonelis really reaching around with that left hand and trying to get a big, big hip toss. And Lee being raised up, being elevated really strongly, but then turning out of it just in time. Second Shido for Lee, not having as many attacks as Milonelis. Oh, big change in direction. Lee coming in twice for Sewanage, and then really powerfully changing direction for Sumigaishi on Milonelis and nearly taking him over. Looks like he caught him a little bit there. I think there might be a review to see if that's actually a score. I think it was so fast, I couldn't be sure, but it looked to me like it could be a Wazari. Can't hear. Maybe we can. Oh, it's an Ippon for Lee. Wow. Let's take a look at that ourselves and see if we can see it. It was really a brilliant It was really a brilliant setup as he came in twice for Sewanage and then switched to that Sumigaishi. But the finish was so quick, and Milanellis was turning so fast that I couldn't tell what the landing was like. So he comes in, and he'll come in again, and now he's going to switch. Boom! Oh, it's this big bridge. That's what it was. Milanellis is clearly on his head and on his feet, and bridging out of a fall. Bridging out of the fall is an automatic ippon. So one entry. Oh, he actually did a little kochigari there too. So really setting up in one direction and then taking him over, and you could just see that huge bridge. Of course, in slow motion there, it's really, really clear. But in the original sequence, it was so quick going back and forth that I just couldn't spot it. So, up now, we have Guilherme Schmidt from Brazil versus Simon Gauci. Gauci? I'll go with Gauci from Switzerland. We have some blood on the mat. So while we're waiting for that, why don't we go to mat 1, where we have a 90 kilo match. Been a while since we've seen a 90 kilo match between Mohamed Halbi from Egypt versus Martin Bezdek from the Czech Republic. Halbi, okay, and they're also waiting. So, okay. Okay, so here comes Bezdek. 3 minutes left of the match. No score, no penalties. Second Egyptian we've seen today. Bezdek down in for a low Ouchigari. Halbi then answering with his own very, very deep throw, but Bezdek turning out of it. So that was a really good demonstration of how quickness is still a big feature, even at 90 kilos. You know, one player coming down for a really low internal throw, and then the other player coming in with his own deep internal attack as well. Which you would think at this weight would be really, really unlikely. And yet there it is. So Halbi doing something interesting. As he's walking and coming up to his opponent, he's reaching across his chest with his left hand and guarding his lapel. That's something that can get you in trouble if you do that, you know, while you're actually engaged. Oh, big koshiguruma by Bezdek for the ippon. Really, really good classic attack there. Both players really bent over in these strong defensive positions, and then Bezdek just explosively coming across with a classic attack against a jigotai position. This big koshiguruma getting really nice elevation and rotation on Halbi for the complete throw. And I think Halbi's just so disappointed, of course, as anybody would be. So that'll be a great throw to look at again, too. Very nice, very, very deep bow by Bezdek. Gratitude for his opponent. Look at that. Just really, really coming in. So see how he's out. And then he really comes in. The only thing that keeps this from being a perfect koshiguruma is that he just doesn't have his hip all the way through, but his upper body is so well placed, and he's really driving with those hips into it that Halbi just has nowhere else to go.
Germany, en kimono bleu, derrière français de France.
So, Louis Mai from Germany This is Francis Damier from France. Whoa, big lift. Okay. Camera's getting really excited. Zooming in super close so we can see exactly what their expressions are like. No score, though. Damier landed squarely on his backside, so it was really hard to tell. The camera was really out of frame. So anyway, no score. First 30 seconds of the match, very exciting. Mai trying to get a big throw in the corner. Clearly very aware, as we mentioned before, having a good awareness of where you are on the mat. And, if you're being driven into the corner, you've only got a couple of options. One of them is to try a big throw as you're, oops, there's an example of somebody getting jabbed. As Damier reached in, Mai pushed his hand up right into his own face. Big lift again. Okay, and Damier turning it at the last moment, so that'll be a good thing to see. Mai had lifted him, but you can watch as how Damier turns his own body into Mai's throw and forces Damier down onto his own back. Countering the rotation that Mai had hoped to complete, actually stopping it and dead, so that Mai was coming down on his own back. That's a really good example of French judo. Really, really smooth. That kind of smoothness that occurs. Very powerful, but really smooth. My experience with French judo culture is that it's extremely technical, lots of nuance. So that'll be a good throw to look at when this match concludes. Okay, now Damier keeping up the attack, even though he is on. Even though he is in the lead, he is continuing to work positively. There was a big Haraigoshi attempt by Damier. Mai really shutting it down, though, keeping his hips well back and driving Damier down, face forward on the ground. Damier picking up a penalty for stepping out. That's interesting. Oh, big. Now, that's something Mai's been trying to do the whole time, and he finally got it. He finally got that uranage on Damier, but it was not a clean landing straight on his back, so it's only the wazari. But now the score is even, and we're still in the top half of the match. Here we go. Here's this lift by Mai. What he had tried to do the first time, but Damier was able to counter. This time, he caught Damier clean and was able to finish the technique. It'd be really cool to be able to see both of those. If you get a chance to see both of those in comparison to each other. A successful throw versus a successful counter to a throw. The same throw. So, 1-1. Just under 2 minutes. Wow, some matches go really fast. Some seem to really, really just be really long. This is a lot of match in 2 minutes so far. Both players being a bit more measured. Damier really reaching there. That was a real reach in that. And then Mai also reaching with a technique. Both players looking pretty fatigued at this point. It's probably each one of their second match of the day. Okay, Mai picking up a Shido now. So now they're perfectly tied. Mai having a penalty for false attack. Oh! Damier trying to come in for looked like Koshiguruma. And Mai this time countering and bringing him almost to his side, but I think there's a video review going on. If Damier's shoulder was turned, that'll be that second Wazari. It was definitely not anything like a really clean landing or a clean throw, but it might be just enough. That was a mistake on Damier's part. Kind of a sloppy. Yep, Wazari for Mai. Wazari Awasete Ippon for Louis Mai from Germany versus Francis Damier of France. So here's that technique. Yeah, Damier just turned his shoulder there at the end. If he had just kept his left shoulder turned out, but look how his left shoulder will go underneath him. See how it goes underneath and just rolls enough. Okay. Okay, let's go to mat 3. I want to pick up this match because Rajkai Robert, maybe Robert. Rajkai from Hungary is a returning player from last year's World Championships and had some really, really dynamic judo last year. So I wanted to see how he would look today as well. He's up against Kenny Komi Bedel from Italy. And Bedel picks up a Shido. They both have Shidos. No score, though, down in the last minute of regulation time. But Rajkai was somebody who nearly made it all the way through to the finals. Just lost in the semis in last year's World Championships. And one thing I saw in his matches was that he actually gave the
second round contest under 81.
I'm trying to think now. He gave one of his earlier matches. He was just really, really. Oh, it was this year's first seed. That's it. At 81 kilos. Arancibia from Canada. He was really, really giving Arancibia a match last year. But then later on, kind of faded. So we'll see. Second match of the day, probably. There's Kai Robert. So it was funny because it was kind of hard, he'll come in with this sort of, very loose, unprepossessing sort of stance, but then all of a sudden get really explosive. It's kind of disconcerting. But then other times, then this will happen too. So I think right there, though, he was just riding out the last few seconds of the regulation time, knowing that they're going into golden score. So we'll see how this works out. So Bedel in blue from Italy.
Winner of tatami number 2.
Bedel is the one who's really got all the energy at the moment. But he's so far out. That was a big movement, but and a nice attack with the lower body, but his upper body was, there we go. Oh, Rajkai coming in. Big grip around the body on the outside, but then coming in for the Uchimata. If he'd had his left hand up on Bedel's sleeve, he would have been able to complete that turn, getting completely rotated around. But because he had gripped around the body, maybe the collar and the body, that was, he's getting a left-hand grip and then attacking with a right side Uchimata. Very innovative, and sometimes, there's a lot of this kind of play, of course, at this level, where they're taking classic techniques and mixing them up a bit because everybody knows the classic techniques and they're easy to guard against. Oh, okay. Just sort of sitting on his opponent there for a moment. I think Rajkai is feeling kind of fatigued.
Vainqueur sur le tapis numéro 1, Roland Jean-Pierre.
Oh, that was just poor. That was poor. There, he's about to get. Oh, that's just unfortunate. Bad choice. That's a disappointing performance for Rajkai Robert from Hungary. False attack.
Vainqueur sur le tapis numéro
But a
3.
good bow at the end.
Kelly Tommy l'Italie.
Okay, let's go to mat 2 and pick up the 70 kilo match, because Kelly Peterson Pollard, definitely one of the ones we wanted to watch today. This will be our first match in the second round. From Great Britain versus Mina Agneta Ricken from Germany. And Peterson Pollard for a nice Uchimata. Ricken just turning out of it. That's nice. Peterson Pollard, as I said, is very, very steady, very strong, does not stop, kind of relentless. And she loves kata tejime. She loves this choke. It seems to be actually a pretty common thing in this weight class. I saw a couple of other players do this as well. But Peterson Pollard just seems to have a particular... Look at this. Let's see if she does it. She has a particular zest for kata tejime. So, Peterson Pollard's up. I'm pronouncing Peterson like it's a German name. Peterson. Okay, there we go. This joke that she really, really enjoys. And this is how I saw her put one of her opponents out last year.
Tsunoda.
Yeah, Tsunoda. She was completely out. Came around really quickly, but there just wasn't any doubt. So Ricken trying to figure out what she's going to do here. Peterson Pollard really sticking out the center of the mat. Ricken coming in Ochigari, but way too shallow. And going down to the mat and just giving Peterson Pollard the chance to really go to town on her newaza. Okay, and Ricken picking up a second Shido for passivity. Although she just attacked. She just came in. It wasn't very convincing, but she did just attack.
Did you not just duck her head under there?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh well. We continue. 40-odd seconds left to go. 2 penalties against Mina Agneta Ricken of Germany. Over on the one side there for the British fighter.
So much tension. Oh, goodness. Peterson Pollard trying to do the Ichimata. Ricken trying to counter with the lift. It's really a struggle as who was going to get it. Neither one. Ricken.
Thought about the Serenage, didn't she?
Yeah.
A bit too
But
far away.
there we go.
That's the Marotte, and then she bails out and then looks to defend.
Yeah.
I think the initial attack was okay.
Yep. Referee agrees.
Yeah, I think the initial attack was genuine.
I agree. Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure Peterson Pollard realized that time was up already. So one thing you can see in these two athletes is really good conditioning. One of the earlier matches we did just a few minutes ago, these two athletes were clearly out of gas, well into the, well before Golden Score, and then they had to go into Golden Score. These two athletes, there's no question about it.
Couldn't follow up with the Kosoda there.
Nope. there we go.
You know, she has got something about her, Rickon. Doesn't quite come up with a serious threat, but you can see the angles are there. You know, a lesser player may have gone over.
The pieces are there. I just don't think they're all tied together. It's like she didn't have the upper body control with this deep commitment to the... But the standing game is where you want it. That's it. That was what
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. That's an upset.
Yeah, that is a super win as well. Great lunge.
And it was all together. The upper body control, the Kazushi, the...
Well, we were just talking about a couple of, you know, she showed a couple of things, and I thought, hey, you know, there's something here.
Yeah.
You know, there's just a little bit about her that suggests that, you know, she could do something. And I'm in the process of saying, you know, a lesser player would have gone over already to a couple of those attacks. And then she comes in with a really, really nice Koichi that Peterson Pollard is trying to turn off. She feels it. She has to get off that, but she lands heavily on her side and can't. And there's enough there for the Rosario. The number 1 seed goes crashing out.
What an upset.
Asahi Mami.
Gene.
Okay, so here we have Cilia Koch from the Netherlands versus Asahi Mami from Japan.
I think that's going to end up as being Koch.
Koch, okay.
Yeah, like D-E-K-O-K, de Koch.
Okay.
You know.
So, okay, both players kind of locked into a position. Neither one could get any kind of advantage going.
I wonder if her Mimi is around today. What do you think?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Korea's playing, so...
She looked like a really likable character, didn't she? Yeah. There was just something about her that was engaging yesterday.
Oh! Asahi attacking, but Koch coming in over the top. Has a real Jujigatame, well, not really. A Jujigatame opportunity, but not able to engage it deeply enough. Okay. Netherlands coach being cautioned.
Yeah, really, he was giving it large, as they say, wasn't he? What was it about the...
Ooh, Asahi in a good position there. Left hand grip. Oh, but Koch coming in with her own big hip throw. Just popping Asahi right over, but Asahi turning out. Coming up on 2 minutes. Asahi just doesn't seem to have found what she's looking for in terms of grip. She's got a left-hand grip, but Koch continues to get her right elbow right into Asahi's arm, really keeping Asahi from coming in that way. I think that's how Koch was able to get that hip toss in just a moment ago. But Asahi's the one really, there we go, trying to do Uchimata and then stepping across for Tayatoshi, bringing Koch down, but not enough for the score. Then driving for the turn, trying to convert it in Osaikomi. And this looks really good. Oh, not enough for the Wazari. Probably just under. Doesn't sound like 10 seconds is a long time, but when you are holding a pin, all of a sudden time slows down enormously, while paradoxically speeding up for the person underneath. Einstein had nothing on Judo. Okay. Bit of a struggle there, getting that collar grip. I think Asahi is getting serious. In for Uchimata. Really, really trying to keep Koch off balance. Again for Uchimata. Koch stepping in, but not nearly as convincingly. Oh, third Uchimata. And then Koch again. But you can just see the difference between Asahi's attacks and Koch's attacks. Yeah, there we go. Passivity call on Koch.
Lasha Bakauri is taking to mat number 1
Okay.
in a round 3 contest. Don't necessarily have to go down there. Those of you at home who want to go there, by all means, you can click on mat 1 and you will see Lasha's contest. I'm not gonna jump around at this stage of the morning. Those of you that want to go down there, perfectly happy, click on mat number 1 and you'll get Lasha Bakauri up against Mariano Cotto Brasier.
Oh, and we just saw a nice Ashiwaza by Asahi for the Ippon. And immediately going into not looking at the ref. So here's an excellent example of what I was talking about before. Yeah. Totally focused on her opponent, going down into a really, really good pin. And Lasha Bakauri just got his own Ippon, but going immediately down to a pin and just completely focused on the job.
Yeah, I thought we'd save ourselves the trouble of jumping around and going down to mat number 1 for a 20-second Ippon. You know what I mean? We can catch that on the highlights reel. Right. There's not much of a contest going on down there, is there? So.
But that was could we get a look at this Ashiwaza that Asahi just did? While these guys are lining up, that was a really nice.
I think nice throw. Could be on the big screen there. Not sure if we're going to get it here. Yassine Diatta of Senegal is up against Alaya Coyote of Morocco. Diatta in the white judogi, Coyote in blue.
The number 3, second round, the women under 70 kilo. In white for Germany, Madeleine Galanti. In blue for Switzerland, Gioia Vetterli.
Took a bit of a risk there, did Diatta. And she came up on the receiving end. Rosari down now. Still half the contest still to come. Hairi a little bit slow to get to her feet. There's still time here, a minute and 29 left to go. I'm not sure what it is that Hairi is suffering from, but definitely finding it increasingly more difficult to get back to her feet. She's almost stumbling there. It's not going to last long now. Diata's going to come and finish this off. And there, Hairi comes up with a second score. Ambushed. Hey. So Diata not able to take advantage of a slightly disorganized Alaya Hairi. It's the Moroccan who comes up with two good scores to put out the Senegalese, the number 4 seed, Diata. Right, who have we got coming up next? Miriam Chunk Turia of Georgia is up against Eliana Aguiar of Venezuela. Chunk Turia in the white judogi, Aguiar in blue.
Tatami 2, next second round contest, the women's under 70 kilo. In white for Georgia, Miriam Chunk Turia. In blue for Venezuela, Eliana Aguiar.
Another one goes the way of the Georgian preference. Huge. What a lift that was. Chunk Turia getting hold of little Eliana Aguiar and burying her on the right side of the mat there, Ripon.
Winner in white for Georgia, Miriam Chunk Turia.
Chunk Turia into the quarter-final. Told Jean Shin earlier on it's going to be Georgia's day. It's going to be Georgia's tournament. Speaking of Georgians, we've got another one coming up now. And even if we went down to mat number 1, it would be Masayama Kosuke of Japan and Ilia Habuliani of Spain. So whichever way you look at it, you know, you're going to have a Georgian. So we'll stay here and have a look at Alexander Arenciba of Canada. He's up against Vladimir Akhalkadze of Georgia. It's Arenciba of Canada and Akhalkadze of Georgia.
Next contest, second round, women under 70 kilo. In white judo representing Russia, Madina Taimazova. In blue, representing Belarus, Jana Asipovic.
Oh, that was nice. Beautifully done. Akhalkatsi, nice. Ipon Cernaghi had to move his man when he was airborne, actually, to continue that movement. Really well done. And this is the number 1 seed here. He caught him in the mouth again. Thought about going over on the left side there again with that Cernaghi, but this time Arencibia managed to step off it. He picks up a penalty for passivity with 2.5 minutes left to go.
I wish I had 3 sets of eyeballs at the moment.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep an eye on Mashiyama, but Akhalkatsi looks quite exciting. He opened up and caught Arencibia quite early on with Cernaghi for Wazari, and since then he's in his comfort zone. Mashiyama has just scored Wazari down on mat number 1 against Kabuliani of Spain. There's no score between Taimazova and Asipovic down on mat 3. That's in the under 70 kilo category.
Okay, and that's the second throw for Mashiyama. Actually, Ipon. Straight Ipon. So he's through. And we'll have Grigorashvili coming up on mat 3 as well.
Sur le tapis numéro 1, Kosugi Mashiyama du Japon.
Maybe he can learn sign language.
Yeah.
Prochain combat sur le tapis numéro 1, catégorie moins 90 kg.
Minute and a half left to go. Akhalkatsi still leads. He kind of slowed down, to be honest. Just took his foot off the gas and
Not there.
maybe he's just decided to get in another gear.
That was it. So another big Georgian victory here.
To follow the one of Chanturia that was on the map previously.
That was gorgeous. I was standing right
Huge,
there watching.
wasn't it?
Big. So that I think it was Hungary or Italy. She gave her the hip, and then Chanturia just perfectly vertical lift.
Venezuela. Yeah, the Venezuelan girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aguiar. Poor kid.
Okay.
I felt kind of sorry for her. Here's the replay of that.
Yeah.
He's got some stuff about him, hasn't he, Akhalkatsi? And he wasn't
does.
one that we had on the radar.
No.
He was just the only
there's
reason.
so many to select from.
Yeah, exactly. The only reason he was even on there was because he was Georgian.
Yeah.
But he's giving a good showing of himself. Taimazova, by the way, leads my Wazari down.
Let's go to that
on
mat 3.
Mat 3.
So let's go to mat 3 because we'll want to pick up the next match anyway.
Okay. Yep, that's right. Indeed.
Oh, and
We get there just as Taimazova finishes off.
yeah. Nice.
Yeah, she's just getting there, isn't she? You know, she
Yeah.
had that tricky little one this morning against Tsunoda.
Right.
Got past that. Oh, yes.
And clearly, when she can move like that, so that cements it in my mind that she had a specific plan for playing Tsunoda.
Yeah,
And she did it. So, okay, here we go. Tato Grigolashvili from Georgia.
Against Giga Abuashvili of France. There's no getting away from them.
They're everywhere.
Wherever you go, you're going to get Georgia.
Georgia is the world. And look at that. Look at that. Okay. You can tell that. So I was going to ask you, actually. Is Abuashvili a Georgian transplant? Or how? Oh, look at that. Has he been in France long?
I don't know about this one, to be honest.
Oh, wow. We found a gap in Sheldon's encyclopedic knowledge of judo players.
I don't know about this one, Abuashvili.
Okay.
I shall ask.
Okay. I'm a little... taking a look at Abuashvili's gi. I mean, the gi control is very, very strong. Oh, look at... Oh! Wow.
Yeah, well, you can see what happens when Grigolashvili gets some of his own medicine, and that's why somebody
he's doing the walkabout.
Like he's just gathering himself.
Yeah.
But you can see why someone like Saeed Molay will be a really difficult opponent for him, because you can't get away with that gripping up and staying close thing. No. And Abuashvili is not going to have any of it.
No.
He's going to dish it out just as much.
He is.
Well, did he duck underneath there, Abuashvili? I wonder.
No, I was looking at his feet.
Well, he's gone to ground there.
Yeah,
Didn't like it.
No.
Yep. Don't worry about the signal. Just give him shit.
Don't tell us what it's for. It was obvious.
Yeah. Clearly.
Whoa! Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah. Grigolashvili was looking to avoid getting caught up, so he couldn't come up with any of his own attacks, or else he may have claimed something there. But that was all Abuashvili.
That was.
Second time that he's almost had Grigolashvili up and over.
And Grigolashvili's finger was coming down on his head. He's like, there's nothing else. So, see, but this is something I really like about him. He changes up. He's doing some ashiwaza. The way he beat the Japanese player in his last match, in the first match he had actually today, was really, really good. Big! Oh! Wow! Oh my goodness! Seiwanage, cartwheel, second Seiwanage.
Abuashvili can't afford a second Shido here.
Holy moly!
He can't afford a second Shido because the pressure will really be on then.
But Grigolashvili has got some momentum now. And he's avoiding the whole close hip thing. He's like, okay, that's not working. Oh! But Abuashvili comes in for the hip and then gives Grigolashvili the chance to lift and ippon.
Yeah.
So, really excellent play on Grigolashvili's part. Really pushed Abuashvili out of his comfort zone. Made Abuashvili really reach kind of desperately. Opened up the opportunity and took it.
It's a shame that we're not going to see more of Giga Abuashvili. I'd have liked to have seen a little bit more of him.
We will in the future, I'm sure. Just not today. But look at that. See, brings his head down, makes him reach up, and then boom, drives him over. Georgian judo. Very Georgian judo. Look at that. Just he popped his head down and then made him come up. That was, oh my gosh. It was almost social engineering.
Right. Gene, take it away.
Okay, Vuk Elez from Bosnia-Herzegovina versus Kurban Murodov from Uzbekistan. Thanks, Sheldon. 81 kilos. Kurban Murodov already has Wazari. Got it while I was puzzling out the name. Wow. These are two, so physical types. It's interesting. Oh! Kurban Murodov. The big Uchimata. I think in most other matches he would be considered quite tall, but compared to Elez, both really tall players.
On Tatami 2, third round, men under 81 kilogram. In white judogi, representing
Oh, Kurban Muradov in for Ichimata.
In blue judogi, representing Portugal, Damian Joyanshi.
Oh, 1 minute gone. Let's see. Elez having to arrange his pants, make sure they stay on. It's funny, you want to see a contrast, you can quickly switch over to mat 1 where there's a 90 kilogram match going on, and both of those guys are shorter than both of these guys on 81 kilos. Despite being almost 20 pounds lighter. Okay, Kurban Muradov in again for Uchimata, and Elez able to clamp it down and then start trying to do some newaza, but action had pretty much stopped and they're pretty much off the mat, so referee halts the action, so let's go back to the middle. Kurban Muradov just reaching around with that long right arm. Initially around the back, but I'm sorry, Elez reaching around with that long right arm. There, just like that. And then hauling him around for Tsurigoshi, but not getting the hip in. I think really just attacking to stay out of danger of being called for passivity. Both place. Oh, big, deep diving Tayatushi. But was outside of Elez's arm, so upper body was locked out, even though, wow, that was a really impressive drive. The lower body coming down low. And that's the right thing to do against a taller opponent, coming down for these dropping. Ouch! Elez coming in here with his own Tayatushi and whacking Kurban Muradov's head right into the mat. Elez now working very, very powerfully for that Jujigatame, but failing that, trying to get the turn instead. Seeing if he could just crank Kurban Muradov over, but nope. Uzbek was far too braced out. I'm surprised that his brain isn't rattling in his skull. .114 left in the match. Kurban Muradov up by Wazari. Having to be driven right to the side of the mat by Elez and coming in with a couple of attacks. 3 attacks right in a row. The first 2 were a little perfunctory, but that last one there was no doubt. It was really, really trying to go. So 3 big attacks. Let's see what Elez is now down several attacks. If Kurban Muradov can muster a bit more energy, he's going to really put Elez in a bad spot. Under a minute now. Again, see how Elez is just driving Kurban Muradov off to the side. And, it looks like he just stepped out there. And yeah, so Elez is really playing a much more tactical game at the moment. He's behind, but that's not the right thing to do here because he's down by a Wazari. A penalty. Kurban Muradov doesn't have any penalties. Even if he picks up a penalty, he's still going to have 2 others that he could do. So here we have Elez. Now, that's not to say that the Uzbek still doesn't have to play. That wasn't so good. He's clearly fatigued, but he's in a really bad spot. If he plays like that one more. So look at this big drive, really driving him off. Kurban Muradov coming in. He could still pick up. So it seems pretty clear to me. These are not really great attacks. Fix your gi. course, all of this gives him a nice chance to catch his breath, get his heart rate down. Referee is saying pick it up, but as long as he keeps moving, there's really not a lot he could do. Okay. This is really a nice opportunity for Kurban Muradov to catch his breath for one or maybe two more exchanges. Elez. Big Uchimata. Oh! And then Elez was just waiting for an opportunity to counter. Was it enough? Was that a good enough counter? I think we're getting a video review. Oh. So, smart strategy by Elez. But no counter, no score. Now, Elez has no choice. He's really got to attack. He's now no longer trying to drive Kurban Muradov to the side. Uzbek looking at the clock, saying, is it over yet? Okay, and there it is. And he's saying, thank goodness, in Uzbek. Oh my gosh, I'm glad that's over. Because he just eked that out.
Going to give you the lineup for the quarterfinals in the under 70 kilo category quickly. Mina Agenda Ricken of Germany goes up against Asahi Mami of Japan in the first of the quarterfinals. Alaya Coyote of Morocco will face Miriam Chunk Turia of Georgia. Molde Narinova of Kazakhstan will go up against Marlena Galandi of Germany. And the last of the quarterfinals will be Morgan Ferreol of France up against Madina Taimazova of Russia. Coming up here on mat number 3 now in the under 81 kilo category. Round 3, Mohamed Koch of Turkey up against David Karapetian of Russia. It's Koch in the white judo gi, or Koch I think it is. I have to ask. Mehmet Yilmaz isn't here. I'll have to ask Nedim Beyat the correct pronunciation. Anyway, he's up against David Karapetian of Russia. It's Koch in the white and blue. Here's Jin Shin.
Okay. So one thing to be looking forward to as we get into these later rounds is that all the matches are pre-designated on what mats they're going to be on, and so the matches, of course, go through at different rates. So some matches will be in one round, other matches will be in another round. So we have quarterfinals coming up. As we get into quarterfinal matches, it's really important. Those are big, high stakes matches, so we're going to be trying to cover those as much as possible. So we'll be going back and forth between round 3 and quarterfinals if really significant quarterfinal matches come up. For example, coming up on mat 2 will be the first of the under 70 kilo quarterfinal matches between Ricken and Asahi. So why don't we go to that actually?
Number 2, winner in the blue judo gi, representing Portugal, Damian Troianchi. Dear spectators, on tatami 2, quarter final, women under 70 kilo.
So yeah, let's switch to mat 2, pick up that quarterfinal.
In white judo gi, representing Germany, Mina Ricken. In blue, representing Japan, Asahi Mami.
Ricken in white, Asahi in blue. Oh, Wazari. No? Oh, Ricken is lucky. Of course, so her hips were not turned at all. And the key thing would be her shoulder. So I think the referee's waiting. Oh, it is a Wazari. All right. So I was right in my initial impression. So, Ricken in a tough spot. Coming in for the Kouchigari. Asahi keeping the balance. Ricken again coming in from behind, but Asahi turning it and looking for that Uchimata. Really dragging. Oh, and stepping across for the Tayatoshi for the second Wazari and the Ippon. Really brilliant combination attack there with a really difficult grip struggle going on at the same time. That'll be really good to look at. Really beautiful competitive judo, competition judo being played out there. Asahi Mami. And up next we got another great match.
Lincoln of Germany will be in the repechage.
There's a way to see that replay.
En kimono blanc, Alaya Coyote du Maroc. En kimono bleu, Miriam Chunk Turia de Géorgie.
Okay, Alaya Coyote from Morocco versus Miriam Chunk Turia from Georgia. And in the match, just in her third round match, Chunk Turia had a beautiful, beautiful ippon. Great example of Georgian judo. As we were mentioning, the Venezuelan came in trying to do what looked like Haragoshi or something like that, but was far too high. And by the time she came in, Chunk Turia was in perfect position to come in with an uranage, and it was just beautiful vertical uranage straight to her back. So we'll see if Coyote has a different approach to meeting Miriam Chunk Turia. Great day of judo so far today. Lots of really great ippons. Well, just a wonderful array of things to see. Styles of judo, strategic plans, clearly developed strategies for specific opponents, being very successful. We've seen several first seeds brought out because people came prepared. So it's... Oh my goodness! Coyote in for Ouchigari, but Chunk Turia just turning it out as she was going down to give the Wazari to Chunk Turia, to take the Wazari. Wow, that would be great to see too. Coyote's attack, and then Chunk Turia's... Moroccans don't like it, because Chunk Turia had a really, really good attack there, but Chunk Turia really turned it around.
Frank Dirch is having a pause here, and it goes to white, the score.
So apparently she didn't turn it around.
I didn't see it. I've just joined in here, so...
I thought she had really done it. Okay, so Chunk Turia, I'm sure, is not going to fool around anymore. Boom.
Let's put her on the elbow. The thing that Chunk Turia has got to do here is to look at the scoreboard and look at the time.
Yeah, she's got lots of time. No rush.
You've gone over once. The likelihood of you going over a second time to a lesser opponent is pretty slim. Yeah. Take your time.
Yeah, don't rush.
Gather yourself. You've got everything about you to take this contest comfortably.
Yeah.
If you don't lose your head.
So, composure.
Yeah. Compose yourself here. Because, if you saw her last contest, she could just about, get back to her feet. Kairi. So don't panic here.
Yeah, see. Now Kairi had a chance to do that Kouchigari again, but she went with a rather easily sidestepped Uchimata. She was in a bad position.
There's over half the contest still to come.
Yeah.
It's not a problem here for Chunk Turia.
No.
Take your time.
So Wazari now for Chunk Turia. Rather easy Wazari.
Yeah,
now
it's
down.
It's done.
There we go. And
not going to move.
Kairi is not even really.
You're not going to move from there.
Kairi gave it a really good shot, though.
Oh yeah, see, that was the right tactic early on to try and, just tsunami Chunk Turia off the tatami. That's what you want to do. Get in there early and blast her out before she's got a chance to unleash everything that that there is.
Nice. Nice, nice. What wonderful sportsmanship. Come on, girl. I'll help you up.
Yeah. I'll put you down. I can pick you up.
I think she had really crushed the upper body. So once she gets this pin, she's got the arm across the chest. She got the near arm. No. Okay. Come this way.
Yeah. Vladimir Akhalkatsi or Lasha Bekauri, take your pick.
Oh my gosh. Let's go to Lasha Bekauri.
It's too late.
Oh, it's over?
He's already at 50 seconds.
Oh. Okay.
Doesn't
stay here then.
Doesn't normally take that long.
Oh my gosh. I wonder what it was. Did you see it?
No.
Lasha Bekauri over the Korean?
Into the semi-final. Lasha Bekauri.
Yeah.
Right, we're watching Vladimir Akhalkatsi of Georgia. He's up against Murad Fatiev of Azerbaijan. It's Akhalkatsi in the white judogi, Fatiev in blue. Here's Gene.
Okay, another quarterfinal match.
That's what it was.
Whew. Oh, okay.
A low right-sided Seotoshi.
And then into Uchimata.
Yeah.
Finished with an Uchimata.
Well, yeah.
But it was a nice combination just to make sure it was finished. You're right.
To get the leg going.
Just to keep the rotation. Make sure the hip didn't stay flat. That shows tremendous technical maturity on Akauri's part. Okay, let's go to mat 1 because there's a pause here on mat 2. We want to see Mashiyama's match. Mashiyama's also had an excellent day. We didn't see it a few minutes ago, his match, but he also scored an ippon in his third round match. And for my money, it's really unfortunate that these two guys are going to be facing each other in the semis if Mashiyama wins. Mashiyama coming in for Sewanage, and Miletic almost bringing him over with a counter as he was coming down. Anyway, it would be, I think, preferable to have Mashiyama and Bekauri facing each other in the finals, of course, but that's the way the draw went. So 3:28, still a long way to go. Tony Miletic from Bosnia Herzegovina in blue versus Mashiyama Kosuke in white. Kosuke in for a couple of little interior Ashiwaza and then in for Sewanage, setting it up. Ochigari, Kochigari, Sewanage. Sewanage! Miletic, he only had the collar, but he's really bringing Miletic around. So Miletic is really, really under the gun. That's like 4 or 5 attacks. There we go. So kind of a machine gun. It's hard to keep up. So, okay, again, Mashiyama, Ouchigari, Sewanage. I think Miletic is in danger of refusing to engage. He's constantly pulling his shoulders back while Mashiyama is trying to get a grip. Okay, big attack by Miletic. He really needed that. If he hadn't done that, he would definitely be in danger of being called for non-engagement or passivity. 2:36, still a lot of match to go. The quarterfinal match at 81 between Akhalkatsi and Fatiev still going, no score. And there's a quarterfinal at under 70 on mat 3 as well. Oh, that's over. Another quarterfinal on mat 3. Okay, here we go. Miletic seems to have gotten his breath back. And for Uchimata. But no hands. His left hand came completely off, so he bounced right back out. Down low. Now Mashiyama is in a bit of a deficit position. I'm sure not for long. Conditioning looks like Mashiyama's got a bit of an edge. Miletic is having to catch his breath a bit. And He's really, really kind of frantic in the way that he's grabbing around and bouncing back out. Mashiyama's really focused on the inside. Now he's got right hand set. So looking to get his left hand set. Both collar grips. Oh, now he's on the inside. Both hands. Big Sewanage. Oh! Miletic just hooking the leg and keeping himself from being pulled over. If Mashiyama dropped more into his Sewanage, I don't think Miletic would be able to stop it. But Mashiyama has got a very, very high Sewanage with this double collar grip. Ooh. Really got tagged. Looked like it was right in the eyeball. But he's okay. When their hands are darting in and out like that and you really block, the hand can get redirected right up into your own face. Big Sewanage again. So Mashiyama has really been hitting that one Sewanage a lot. And of course he'd like to throw with it. But I'm waiting to see if he switches it off. Miletic isn't giving him any kind of, real counter. He's just kind of dragging. And Miletic now picking up a second Shido for passivity. Big Ippon Sewanage, again off that double collar grip. Miletic, both hands on the left. But just not able to get his hand settled enough to get any kind of attack going. Mashiyama just might win this on penalties just because his pace of attacks has been so relentless that Miletic just can't keep up. One more exchange. Let's see if Miletic gets something going. There was a little bit, but his hands are just not settled. Big attack by Mashiyama again. Miletic coming down. Ooh, that's not so good. Might be a false attack. Dropping to avoid play is never a good thing. Okay, no penalty. Just like every other human being on the planet, referees want us. On mat 4, we've got Grigorashvili coming up. So as soon as this match is over, we're going to jump over there, assuming it's still running. But this is still 0-0. There's no score on this match.
Ladies and gentlemen, on tatami 3, quarter final, men under 81 kilo.
So between the two players, Mashiyama's definitely had the longer road. Is that because he's had tougher opponents, or is that because Bakauri's just the better player so far? So another drop, or another passivity play, perhaps call on Miletic. Passivity on Miletic. So let's go over to the, good bow though. Really great bow on both players' part. Good sportsmanship. That was just a super tough match for Miletic. He just could not keep up. So let's jump over to mat 3. And we'll pick up Grigorashvili versus Kurban Muradov, who we just saw in his last match. Just 30 seconds gone. No score. And Akalkatsi is up on mat 2 at 81 kilos. Oh, Grigorashvili in for the Sumigaishi. And then over for Tsurugoshi. And then in for Koshigari. Wazari and then into Osakomi. Tate Kamishi Hogatame. Deep Kamishi Hogatame. And Kurban Muradov's left arm is just so tied up. Nowhere to go. What a commanding match. What a commanding performance by Grigorashvili. So Grigorashvili, Mashiyama, Bakauri, all through to the semifinals. 2 different weight classes there, though. Grigorashvili through the second. Okay.
Well, his teammate Akalkatsi is still in with a shout there on the adjoining mat. He's, I think that's where we're going to go next, I think.
Yeah,
Go and
let's
have
go
a
to
look
mat 2.
at that. Yeah, mat number 2. Vladimir Akhalkadze Murad Fatiev of Azerbaijan.
Wow, that guy got taped up.
Yeah, he just...
Saying about mummies the other day?
Yeah.
You're getting more mummified as we go through. Wow.
It's so difficult for him to see.
Yeah. Okay, false attack on Akhalkadze for Shido. Fatiev.
It looks as though he just escaped from a tomb in a pyramid or something, doesn't it? Look. Poor fella. He can't see.
Well, once you're tied up and you've got you can't really use your vision anyway.
But he can't see out that left side.
Yeah.
In white for Russia, David Karapetyan. In blue for Italy, Kenikomi Pedel.
Yeah, it's so difficult.
He must have a cut right up above his eye or something.
The other thing is that if he can move it so easily,
Yeah,
it must mean that it's not secure.
Yeah. Maybe it's on his cheek? It must be on his cheek. Because if it was above his eye, they'd wrap it around the back of his head.
Yeah, I think it's on the cheek, yeah. And it's slipping all the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Poor fella.
Fatiev has a really unusual style of play, too. It's kind of an untidy thing. He had this earlier match against, I think it was the German, who, they're both reaching up super high. So I really expect Akhalkadze will come through here, but see, that kind of, it's this really untidy sort of attack. Oh, came completely off now.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got blood. Now Akhalkadze's got blood on his gi.
Maybe we're going to have a go without the strapping.
Oh, if he's still okay. I don't got time to bleed.
Yeah.
That's a line from a movie. Oh, see, Akhalkadze's coming in, and Fatiev is just dropping like crazy. Big turn, but no hands. No hands at all. Both players up. Wow, we have semifinals coming up in under 70 in a few matches.
Japan and Germany, I think.
Yes. Japan and Georgia. So that'll be one to watch.
Oh yeah, top half of the draw. Oh, they've already had that then. Ricken has already gone into repechage, yeah. So Japan and Georgia.
Okay, golden score.
Akhalkadze has picked up 2 penalties.
Yep.
So he's at a disadvantage as we go into golden score. Gene.
Yeah, so that's a little disconcerting, but let's see what happens here. Fatiev might just pull it out, but oh, watch the shoulder. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, what was he doing there? Okay, so there was an opportunity to do a really, really strong, secure arm lock there, but he didn't do it. Instead, he was just using the arm to try and turn him over, and at the same time putting Fatiev's shoulder at risk. That was curious. Oh, there we go. Oh, turned out. Wow.
That was close, yeah.
Akhalkadze clearly drained. Both of them. Fatiev and Akhalkadze. Both players breathing deep. It's amazing how hard your gi is to move when you're tired. Fatiev stepping up. It's such an unusual style of play. Yeah, I don't know what to make of it. That was not good. That was a very poor attack.
False attack for you?
I don't know. Oh, go take care of it. Wow.
He doesn't want to stop, but he's bleeding. And this is the third time.
Yeah, it's on his cheek. So you can't tape it up around the back of his head. This is a big break for Akalkatsi. He dodged a huge bullet just now.
The Azeri doctor has gone over and said, we're not treating him.
Really?
Yeah, because they know that if he gets the third treatment, he's off.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't want to go off.
They've got to get this one right. He hasn't had any treatment.
So he's refusing. Calm down.
He didn't have treatment the third time. Yeah, it's Hajime, yeah.
So if you're actively bleeding, can you just refuse treatment?
Well, no, what's happened is the Azeri doctor said don't treat him because it doesn't need treating. You know? And the bandaging had come off.
Right, and he's bleeding.
But, well, it's not bleeding any longer.
I guess.
Because she would have to stop it.
I guess. Maybe it's just open, but not bleeding. Which is a pretty neat trick. Guy can stop bleeding at will. He really doesn't have time to bleed.
See where this one is going. They're both in unorthodox gripping postures.
God, that's nothing. Yeah, Georgian coaches.
Yeah, keep quiet.
A lot of voices now. Okay, second penalty for Fatiev. 130 in golden score.
He's gone over on that side again. But he has attacked.
Georgia just has so little left in the tank. You know, those are...
Got to get to your feet here.
Wow.
Whoever keeps their composure is going to win this.
And then, wow, they get into the same thing.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that?
No, nothing wrong with that at all. He really tried a couple different things.
Yeah.
So, Fatiev, does that count as an attack on Fatiev's part? I mean...
No. That was an attack for the Georgian.
Well, Fatiev came in, and then Akalkatsi responded and was lifting. Fatiev was lifting Akalkatsi up. So I guess that must count, because otherwise, why isn't he getting that third penalty?
Well, neither of them are due a third penalty as yet.
No, maybe not. But okay, that was interesting.
And there's no score there.
No. Okay.
Can't switch off here.
Okay. Fatiev. Oh, that was rather quick. He was making progress. Oh, across the jaw. It was across the jaw.
Number 3, winner in white for Russia, David Karapetian. Karapetian goes to the semi-final. Medal of Italy goes to the repechage.
Akalkatsi. Say what I say.
Yeah, just
when you're tired, your gi is like really hard to manipulate.
Just making sure that the referee sees that he's making every effort to get the key back on.
Okay, it's good. All right, 2:16 into golden score. Both players clearly wiped out. Who can dig just a little deeper than the other one? And Akalkatsi coming in with this big Osoro Gake.
This is good pressure from Akalkatsi here. Got to come up with an attack now.
Uh-oh.
I think the Zeri, it was the the least of the attacking pair there. He knows
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Because he's already clapping to say, you're putting me out here. You watch. There'll be antics all over this one.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
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 Defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, defensive.
Tatami 2, winner in
The way she did it
Georgia,
almost looked like false attack.
Miriam
But yeah.
Chunk
Yep. What a grinder. Meat grinder match.
In that last exchange, all that happened was that Akhalkatsi took a stronger grip, made it more difficult for Fatiev to operate, and Fatiev couldn't break the grip and get back into it. That was the only thing that happened there. And for me, that means just keeping your composure. He did the right thing. They didn't look to launch a big attack or anything. He thought, I'm just going to dominate here and make sure that I look more positive. Right, who have we got here then? Guilherme Schmidt of Germany. We'll try that one again, shall we? Guilherme Schmidt of Brazil up against Damian. Who is that?
Damian Troianchi.
Of Portugal. Okay, Schmidt and Troianchi. And Schmidt's already on the board.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
he's
that
going to stay there. Yep, really quick. Okay, that's nice break from the previous match.
Yeah, that's pulled back the time, hasn't it?
Yeah, let's skip up to mat 1 though, where we've got a semifinal coming up between Asahi and Chunk Turia.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Oh, assuming there is going to be wait. Is there a... I'm sorry. Looks like there's a pause right now.
Well, no, they shouldn't be, because we're at the right stage, so they should be ready now. Oh, 5-minute break.
5-minute break.
Right, so you at home have got a chance to gather yourself for the repechage and semi-final contest. We're going to take a short break of 5 minutes. We'll be back with all the action. We'll see you then.
See you then.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we have 5 minutes break before we start the repechage and the semi-final contests together on Tatami 1 and on Tatami 2. So, a short break.
Mesdames et messieurs, il nous reste seulement 5 minutes pour commencer les finales et le repêchage sur le tapis numéro 1, le tapis numéro 2.
We remind you that today we have the following categories: men under 81 and under 90 kilos, and women under 70 kilos.
Les catégories du troisième jour du championnat du monde junior Marrakech 2019, moins 70 kg filles, et moins 81 kg bien 90 kg garçons.
Team Judo, please be ready. First contest will be repechage for women under 70 kilos, together on tatami 1 and on tatami 2.
Prochain combat sur le tapis, numéro 1, repêchage catégorie 170 kg filles.
One minute to go. Please welcome Judoka Tatami 1 repechage, women 70 kilograms, in white for Germany, Mina Riken.
En numéro 2, Alaya Coyote du Maroc.
Tatami 2 repechage, women 70 kilos, in white for Kazakhstan, Novir Narinova. In blue for France, Morgan Ferriol.
Right, well, here we are back.
Referees.
We've got a couple of repechage matches up to begin with. We're going to start out on mat 1. Between Mina Riken from Germany versus Kairi from Morocco. Saw both of these players earlier. Now they're in struggle for the bronze.
If Riken has been watching what's been going on, she'll know that she needs to do this quickly.
Yeah.
No, sorry. She'll know that she can take her time. She's got to weather the first part of the storm because it's Kairi who's going to try to do this quickly. And if you get past that first part, you know, it's plain sailing, as we saw with Chanturia.
That's right.
So Riken can't panic here. Right? There's a possibility of a score here for
Kairi, I think.
Kairi. Close,
Yeah.
but no score.
Because that's what we saw at Kairi against Chanturia.
Yeah.
Right.
Just got to take her time here. She was responsible for putting out the number 1 seed, you know. The German.
Mm-hmm.
2 Germans in this weight category. Marlena Galandi on mat 3. Oh, sorry, 2. Yeah, 2. Stepping onto the mat now, just in the on the right side of your shot, and the white judogi bending down there. She's about to take to mat number 2, the semi-final.
So let's go
Against Medina Taimazova. Yeah, let's wander over to mat number 2 then. Marlena Galandi of Germany is up against Medina Taimazova of Russia. It's Galandi in the white judogi, Taimazova in blue.
I think it's the first time we've seen, the first time I've seen Galandi today. So as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be doing this kind of switching, even though, you know, because we're trying to cover the most significant matches, and the semifinal is just critical.
Riken, by the way, has secured Asahi Mami down on mat number 1 in her contest with Alaya Coyote of Morocco. She's going to win out there and take her place in the bronze medal contest.
There we go.
Taimazova has an air of calm about the way she approaches things.
She does.
Just goes about her business and does what she does
And
well.
there we go.
Oh, nice. Galandi lucky not to give up a bigger score. If there was a tighter grip on there, that roll may have brought her something a bit more than the Wazari. Anyway, it's a good lead for Medina Taimazova.
It's just that collar grip. Serenage catching her reaching. Ooh, okay.
That was earlier on. Don't worry, we'll catch up.
Yeah.
There it is.
Here it is. See, just the one.
Great position.
There you go.
You think about where she wanted to be to execute that technique.
Right.
The drop was perfectly timed. Feet were in the right place, allowing her to push, continue that drive. Nice tight at the top, the roll. Good score from Taimazova. Galandi now with a bit of work to do, but plenty of time left on the clock to do it. And the one thing you know that she's going to be is extremely well conditioned.
Right.
So time's not going to be the problem. There's another semi-final going on mat number 1 that's about to get underway. Asahi Mami of Japan goes up against Miriam Chunk Turia of Georgia, if you want to watch that one. That's on mat 1.
But we'll stay with this semifinal. So up again, just over 2 minutes. Galandi coming in with a strong grip. Taimazova now being very wary about engaging because she's up. And she has no penalties, so she can absorb a couple without too much risk. As the clock continues to burn.
Which contest did we see Taimazova work well on the ground? Good defense against Tsunoda
right.
in the opening contest.
That's right.
So my thinking here would be that Taimazova would be perfectly happy to burn as much time on the ground as possible. You know, if
she didn't even have a score in that match.
Yeah.
She was burning it up before getting that
Yeah.
score. And now she has a score, so yeah, she would love to burn it up on the ground.
and no penalty.
No penalties, right? Oh, Galandi trying to come in. Galandi really, really has to open things up here. And Taimazova in for a big Uchimata. And Galandi wisely not continuing to press for the Newaza. Still 48 seconds left on the clock. Getting a little hair adjustment.
Not unusual with Taimazova.
Yeah. That won't be an issue for Galandi.
No, she's got that kind of boyish haircut, hasn't she?
Big grip over the back. Oh, mate. I think Taimazova is about to pick up a Shido for gripping on the same side, not attacking.
35 seconds left to go.
Galandi's in kind of a tough spot, but oh gosh. Yeah. Taimazova is taking her time in this, like ostensibly taking her time. Not ostentatiously is what I'm looking for. Taking her time. And I think she looks like she is just where she wants to be. 30 seconds left. I'm up by Wazardi. I still have 2 Shidos I can absorb, or 1 Shido I can absorb. Okay, reaching around, getting a bit of an attack there. Oh, Galandi, that's not a good choice. Oh, Taimazova is just going to be very happy to sit on you and just work things until the clock runs out. Okay, so it will be Taimazova with 3 seconds. So stop with 3 seconds to go. Yeah. Okay, let's jump over to mat 1 and see if we can catch the end of this semifinal on mat 1. And there we go. We see that score, earlier score. The Wazzari.
Winner of Tatami 2 in blue for
Okay.
Russia.
Now, no score on mat 1. Very tense match between Asahi Mami from Japan versus Miriam Chunk Turia from Georgia. Asahi has 2 Shidos.
Asahi's been quite clever in staying away from getting closely involved with Chanturia up to this point, and Chanturia hasn't been able to engage her around the hip area where she would like to.
That close body-to-body contact.
It's just a question of whether there's enough strength left in the arms of Chanturia so that when she does get in this kind of position,
There we go. Yeah.
that she can get that far across.
Oh, that's bad.
I know. And she's done that a couple of times. Because she wants, once that grip goes round, she wants to avoid but Chanturia getting too close.
Yeah. She's lucky that she didn't get called for a false attack there.
Chanturia's got to go brave here with a big arm around the back to put more pressure on. And
nice, Uchimata!
She gets caught.
Oh.
We can't see the landing because it's just
Out of frame. Oh, but he gets she gets the Wazzari with 5 seconds.
Yeah, I think the landing was good. From where I was standing, I was looking at it, yeah.
And of course, Chanturia now really hauling. Whoa! And a Wazzari for Asahi on the counter, but Chanturia really didn't have any choice.
She had to go for that.
And that was the right thing to do, but she got countered. And if she'd gotten it, it would have been brilliant. But it was still a brilliant counter. Terrific match between Asahi and Chanturia. Yeah, that's shoulders down.
For me, that was the final.
Yeah, right there. Oh, yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
The only person now that can threaten is Taimazova. If Taimazova is able to step up even further than she already has done and present a really testing time for Asahi in the final. We shall see.
Well, let's stay here on mat 1 because the next matchup, not only because I want to see this match between Han Ju-yeop from Korea and Toni Miletic from Bosnia-Herzegovina, but the next matchup is Lasha Bekauri from Georgia versus Mashiyama Kosuke from Japan, which is the match at that weight class I definitely wanted to see. Oh, except we do have a semifinal on that too. What do you think?
I don't think we've got any choice. We've got to have a look and see who's going to be in the final, Gennaro Pirelli or Gosh Roland. One of those is going to be in the final.
Right, so we should go to mat 2. You're right.
In white Judo,
thank you.
Representing Italy, Gennaro Pirelli. In blue, representing Hungary, Gus Roland.
I'm willing to bet that the match between Korea and Bosnia-Herzegovina is going to go the distance anyway. Given the way they have been playing today, they just tend to use up the entire time. Gennaro Pirelli in white. Roland Gosh. In blue. I wonder if Gennaro Pirelli is related to Pirelli tires.
If he has, he might have some money in the bank.
No.
He's tapping up for a loan later on.
Oh, nice little ashiwaza. A little sticky foot. Pirelli just turning out of it. Nice little kosoro gake. Oh, ippon on mat 1. For Bosnia-Herzegovina. So that didn't go the distance.
Han's not happy with it.
No. So up on mat 1 we'll have the Bekauri Mashiyama match.
Yep. What was this one?
I think Miletic had a choke. But the Korean was saying that it was across his jaw, but call was final. Oh, there we go, Ippon. I look away for 1 second.
Oh, no. That's the way it always is.
Okay, well, that frees us up.
Yeah, we can go there. There you go.
Nice. Nice tewaza. Look at this, just through Sewanagi, or Soretsure Komigoshi. Yep, driving right over. Good. So, Matt won.
Lasha Bikauri of Georgia up against Mashiyama Kosuke of Japan. It's Bikauri in the white judogi, Mashiyama in blue. And did you say that they'd been against each other?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Bikauri's had a fantastic competitive record, particularly over the last year. He's got multiple golds in multiple continental tournaments. Mashiyama does not have that kind of record, but when he comes out, he wins. He has never lost except against Bikauri.
How many times have they gone? Is it just the once?
Twice.
And Bikauri's beaten him on both occasions?
Both occasions.
Wow.
Yeah.
You want to get that monkey off your back, don't you?
Yeah. So yeah, you know that the Japanese team program has really focused on this match. Again, just like the other Japan-Georgia match we just saw, this really should be the final. But here we are in the semis. Mashiyama taking a very deliberate approach to getting his grip. Bikauri also being very, very cautious. Both players going to be cautioned here for non-engagement. Mashiyama already has another. So this is the second Shido for Mashiyama.
With well over 2.5 minutes left to go.
Long. So he's under more pressure.
The penalty that will do for him is trying to avoid taking a grip.
Yeah.
Not engaging.
Whoa!
Yeah, we've seen that before with Bikauri, haven't we?
Yeah.
Where he's been going over the top.
And Mashiyama did that a couple times to his previous opponent too. So Bikauri is gotten ready for this match too. And now here is Bikauri doing a little bit of taking his time. The referee nudging him along. Say, come on. I think that really shook Bikauri up a bit. Oh, and now we've got Grigorashvili and
Karapetyan, yeah.
Karapetyan on mat.
Mat 2.
The last semi-final, men under 81 kilo.
But Grigorashvili has really shown he's really, really on top of things today. And there really isn't just the same kind of, I think, opposing opponent, presence that these two were facing in each other. Again, multiple sets of eyeballs would be good.
And again, this could very well have been the final.
Not quite the pool of death we had that first day.
No.
Or yesterday. Was it only yesterday?
Day before.
Okay, it's kind of... Mashiyama was really, really trying to come in there, and Bikauri just wore him down. He just couldn't hold on anymore. Okay, a second Shido now for Bikauri. They're in the same situation. Neither one has any leeway. Looks to me like Mashiyama's a bit more composed than Bikauri. Especially now that he knows that, okay, onto the same gun. Nobody's got an advantage at all. And Mashiyama. Yeah, Bikauri's just really milking the whole gi thing.
Yeah, well, it's difficult when what you've been told is that your gi has to be tidy before you get underway.
I don't think he actually told him this time.
No, but they have been told.
Yeah.
Outside.
Right.
If you don't do that, we'll penalise you. So,
but there are ways to do it efficiently. Ways to do it less efficiently.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, and see now Bikauri's really coming in
Yeah, but I think there might be a score there, and there should really be, given Mashiyama's complete turning away and hiding one side. He really was guilty of just keeping one side away. He's lucky to avoid A, not giving up a score, and B, not being called for being overly defensive.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, he's gone now.
Wazari.
Yeah.
Still a minute to go, though. Now Bikauri's going to eat up the clock as much as he can.
Got to be clever here. You know, every second is going to count now.
Yep. So this is the position that Mashiyama has found himself in each time. Just getting a little bit behind. There's just a bit of time left. So now, will Mashiyama be able... Oh, Bikauri's being told to go and get attended to. He's got a bit of blood.
Mercifully for him.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. This is going to give him the breather that he needs to really go this last minute with all of his energy. But of course, it gives Mashiyama a chance to breathe too.
Also gives us a chance to have a look at Tato Grigolashvili and David Karapetyan. There's no score in this semi-final. This is in the under 81 kilo category. We've got a minute and a half to go. Grigolashvili there in the white judogi, Karapetyan in blue.
Both players have a single Shido. Karapetyan driving in, really coming across. I'm sorry, Grigolashvili driving in, coming across. Karapetyan really on the receiving end of things right now. We hear the crowd.
Yeah. Oh, yes, good score.
Karapetyan. Oh, Grigolashvili.
No.
Yeah, Karapetyan, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And that was a good kochi by Karapetyan. Grigolashvili tried to turn it at the last moment.
Well, they're going to review.
Let's bounce back to mat one.
Both contests are finely balanced, but we were watching Bikauri and Mashiyama. Let's go back down to mat number one, see what's happening down there. See, the force is with Bikauri now after that break.
Yeah.
He just needed the break. Well, it won't matter now because they gave the score to Karapetyan, but did the Georgian just come back to score? I don't know.
I don't think so, no.
Well, it's up to Karapetyan now. He leads by Wazari.
Yep. Oh, and there it is.
My
Beautiful.
goodness.
No doubt about that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the big thing. That was the big match that Bikauri needed to get by, and he did it very decisively. Okay, beautiful.
And we're no doubt we're going to see the highlight here. This is just the
beautiful
spanking.
Yeah,
that really is. That's the typical
really
Georgian lashing there.
Really drop too. This beautiful drop. Really had that grip across his back, driving in his chest.
That was key.
Yeah. So let's go to mat two and pick up the end of the Grigolashvili Karapetyan match.
Grigolashvili has tied things up by coming up with his own Wazari.
Oh!
I'm not at all sure that he's in control there.
Oh, that was close.
Ivan Pershing, the coach, thinks that he is, but I don't think it was.
Getting a review?
Yeah.
So we'll see it for ourselves.
There's the Kouchi's in there.
It was.
That left foot.
It was.
The Kouchi's in there, yeah.
He was certainly driving.
Yeah.
This will be a big... Oh. And it was called free fall.
Yeah.
So, Karapetyan really pulls out a big upset over Grigolashvili, who I think, so what I see, if we get to see the...
we will.
He was just overreaching. It was too far. Karapetyan was too far out of position to do that particular attack. And here we see, Grigolashvili not accepting the result.
Well, he'll have to. He'll just have to get to his feet and accept it.
But this is the thing I was concerned about, is that, he's still not quite there. That's better.
Yeah.
He pulled it together now. That's good. So look, he's just too far out of position.
The left foot. If you look at the left foot of the Russian fighter here,
He was there,
Karapetyan,
yeah.
he knows this is all his. There,
Yeah.
that's his technique. Doesn't matter what Grigolashvili is attempting to do.
And it's just a mistake on Grigolashvili's part.
Yeah,
He just made a mistake.
Pershin knows it well.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was the last contest.
Well, except for giving Wazari when it was actually Ippon.
Yeah, it was an Ippon. Yeah.
Right, we've got the last contest taking place up on map number 1 now. Another repechage contest. Murad Fatiev of Azerbaijan is up there at the moment. This is in the under 81 kilo category, a repechage contest. It's Murad Fatiev of Azerbaijan in the white judogi, Damian Trianashi of Portugal in blue.
So we've seen some interesting upsets, but we've also seen some really good results. So Fatiev, Murad in white, Torianshi in blue with a Wazari and a Shido. Oh, big lift by Fatiev and getting. Oh, Torianshi. Oh, I thought I saw Fatiev lift there. We'll see. So, oh, yeah, it was Fatiev. Okay, so Wazari to Wazari. Score is now even with plenty of time. Just under 2 minutes. Torianshi in for a Wazari, Sewanage, but that was not a good attack. Probably a false attack there, because he had no hands at all. He really dived in strongly, but there was no real way he was going to throw that. So the question is, Wazari's being waved off by. So Fatiev is back down. Torianshi in for the Sumigaish. Fatiev standing over it. Torianshi coming in for Chigari. Oh, and Fatiev driving it back down. And into Osaikomi. Really not sure why they didn't count as a throw. He really drove him down. He took the control away and then drove him right down. Okay, but anyway, Osaikomi. Fatiev now has the Wazari. And it doesn't look like Torianshi is going anywhere. Torianshi. And there we go. Ippon.
How did they get to 16
Yeah, I was looking at that
seconds
myself.
when he
didn't have anything.
did he not have, did the Azeri not have
No.
Wazari? So how is it stopped at 16?
I
Has
don't
he
know.
tapped?
I didn't see it. Maybe he did. He must have. Okay. But in any case, we have Murad Fatiev through to the bronze medal match over Damian Torianshi from Portugal. A good Portuguese name. Okay. Akalkatsi from Georgia versus Schmidt from Brazil.
A chance for another Georgian to get into a final here today. It's going to be littered with them in the final block. Akal Katsi in the white judogi against Schmidt in blue. Place in the final in the under 81 kilo category awaits the winner. Gosh Roland of Hungary is already there and waiting.
Okay. Schmidt really wants to go to Newaza. Akalkatsi does not. So you cannot just go down and pull somebody down into mat work without trying to throw. So Schmidt draws the penalty for false attack.
Oh, Camacho, the referee saying, yep.
Oh! Akolkatsi picking up the Wazari, maybe? No?
I don't think either of them, because
yeah, Schmidt took it away.
yeah, Schmidt would have been looking for a counter, but I don't think there was enough of Akolkatsi's, the scoring part of the body on the mat for him
No.
to claim it.
Yeah, his leg, Schmidt's leg was underneath him.
Yeah, and
So-
you know, the man in the middle just says, no, I've had a look at this. I'm not giving it to you because you've fallen off the other side, and you've fallen off the other side, and your opponent is now claiming control, but he hasn't got you on the scoring part of the body, so neither of you have done enough to warrant a score here. I'm going to leave this.
Oh, Schmidt trying to come in with a big lift. Akolkatsi trying to take it back.
And again, there'll be nothing there.
No.
You know, there just isn't enough for Akolkatsi to claim to have countered that, and there isn't enough for Schmidt to say, even during the counter, because I wanted to take him over the hip,
Right.
but I now think that I can take him back. Well, no, not
No,
really.
No, not
There's
really.
not enough. Plus, I'm showing that I'm not in control by putting my hand down to save myself. So, no. Single Shido against Schmidt after with 2.5 minutes left to go. After all of that.
Semi-final.
Yeah.
Oh, nice!
Oh, don't worry about anything else.
So after all that wrangling, a really nice classic exchange. Ouchigari to Ouchigaishi.
Now, for anybody who says, well, the Georgians just, they're wrestlers, aren't they?
Well, Grigorashvili did that to the Japanese. He did really good
Yeah.
technical judo against the
I'm
Japanese.
just going to ask
too.
you, having been a wrestler yourself as well as a judoka, any of those in the wrestling Gokyo?
Actually, there is foot technique in the wrestling Gokyo, but not like
Not
that.
like that.
Not
Yeah,
like that.
right. Not like that.
Not like that. And the reason it's in the wrestling, over technique is because there are judo players going into wrestling
It's taking it
who
in there,
do
yeah.
that. And there's a couple of heavyweights. Okay, a couple of heavyweights who are really known for
Adept. Right, well, yesterday we had a really nice situation where Federico, our technician, was able to put up on the screen the list for the medal matches. I'm looking at the corner of my eye just to see whether or not he's been able to manage that and Dalore. Not this time
But that's
around.
okay. We have plenty to
That's
talk
okay.
about.
Right. So, look at that. What a show.
There we
Look,
go.
look.
Yeah.
There you go. So, Tato Grigorashvili, so much was expected of him today. We did indeed see a great deal. Fell at that last hurdle there and finds himself in a bronze medal contest against Murad Fatiev of Azerbaijan. That will be a tough one because Fatiev himself has had a real a battle.
Yeah,
I
all
look
day.
forward to seeing that one. Guilherme Schmidt of Brazil, I misidentified him as being from Germany earlier, that's understandable, but he goes up against Kenikomi Bedell of Italy. That's the only person on the whole list that I haven't seen today. That's the second of the bronze medal contest, but the final will be Vladimir Akolkatsi of Georgia to go up against David Karapetyan of Russia. What a final that promises to be, Jim.
Yeah. So the Georgian, there is a Georgian in the final, just not the Georgian that I was looking to see in the final. But again, the thing that I was concerned about was, does Grigorashvili have the composure to really carry his way through all the way? And I think the thing that really was the stumbling block was that final poor choice of technique that allowed Akolkatsi to, or was it Karapetyan? It was Karapetyan to get that Kochigari.
Yeah. All right, so we'll see what that final holds. I think it's probably one of the best finals that we've had to offer up on paper so far this week, Akolkatsi and Karapetyan. Despite the fact, as Jean quite rightly pointed out, it's not the Georgian that we thought, but it's a Georgian who has done absolutely everything that we would expect of a Georgian, including
played brilliantly.
That incredible Ashiwaza that we saw at the end there. Okay, Mina again to Ricken of Germany started off with a blast by knocking out the number one seed for in the under 70 kilo category from Great Britain, Kelly Peterson Pollard. Then stumbled a little bit, but finds herself now in the bronze medal contest against Marlene Galandi of Germany. The same goes for Miriam Chunk Turia, all going nicely. Just a single slip against Asahi Mami of Japan. She now finds herself in a bronze medal contest against Morgan Ferrerol of France. I think the French fighter is going to find it incredibly difficult to get past Chunk Turia. Chunk Turia, the same as Grigolashvili, they could have been finalists. They'll be looking to make up for that, come back with a save, if you like, and take medals there. So it's going to be really difficult. Right. Again, another final that I'm looking forward to is Asahi Mami against Medina Taimazova. Gene, your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, that's also going to be really good. Asahi Mami has just had a great day. Her match against Chunk Turia was brilliant. So I think that she is well placed to meet Taimazova, who's been also an incredibly strong player.
And tactically really astute. She's gone about her business really well.
Yeah, very well.
Okay, in the under 90 kilo category, Tony Miletic, who's been looking good all day, goes up against Gennaro Pirelli of Italy. Whether he's got his tyres with him or not, I don't know, but he's in there anyway. Louis Mai of Germany up against Masayama Kosuke, who once again fell against Lasha Bekauri. In the final, it will be Lasha Bekauri of Georgia against Gosh Roland Bekauri, with a chance to defend his Junior World Championship title here in Marrakech. Gene.
So, again, as we've said before, this is sort of turned into, today in particular, this sort of Japan-Georgia day. And it would have been wonderful to have those two facing each other in finals, but they had brilliant matches, and so Bekauri definitely has earned his way to the defense of his title last year, capping off a brilliant year of competition. Gosh Roland, I think, has a great opportunity to try and see if he can. Can he do it? Can he come in and keep Bekauri from claiming it again? So that's going to be a great match to watch.
It has at times not been the most attractive of performances by Lasha Bekauri, because he's had to find ways of winning with different people coming at him from different angles, but in the end he's really polished people off really attractively.
And this gets to the word that I'm thinking about for Georgian Judo. It's rugged. It's very, very rugged. It's not always the prettiest, but it's dynamic, it's exciting, it's effective, and it's something that definitely has to be contended with in each case.
It's like a diamond. You see the diamond in its raw state, and by the end, when it's polished, it shines brilliantly. And for me, that's what's happened with the Georgians. They've looked a little bit rough and ready. There's one on the big screen here, but when it comes to finishing off, they do so in terrific style.
So yes, and that Bekauri-Masayama match is a great example where Masayama was just thrown so decisively, really clean. It was clean. It just wasn't pretty. And Grigolashvili had a great example of that earlier against his Japanese opponent, where he did classical Japanese judo, but with a Georgian flair.
Right, we look forward to your company in 2 hours' time, when we'll be back with all the medal matches in the final block on the third day of competition at the Junior World Championships. But from Gene Shin and myself, it's bye-bye for now.
See you later.